Hey, Twisters, and welcome, hockey fans, to the 2026 Stanley Cup Final between the Vegas Golden Knights and the Carolina Hurricanes. Now, some house cleaning for those watching after I streamed this. This game is not starting for another 37 minutes, so that's going to be for the live crowd. That's going to be past like 8:20 or so Eastern time. So just a heads up. That being said, I scheduled to do this at 7:45 Eastern, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So, anyway, we've got ourselves an interesting matchup here between two totally different teams, really, especially the way the rosters are constructed, how they got to this position. And I'm fired up, though, because I've been waiting for the Hurricanes to get to the final. And I think Cortana has too, and she actually wants to say hi. Hey, Cortana, can you go lie down? My dog Cortana here, she's got to make an appearance. There she is. Okay. Can you lie down? Here you go, girl. All right. Well, anyway, she'll show her face soon enough. Hunter Media, what's going on? What's up, everyone? I've really started gaining interest in hockey. Wonderful. And this is my first playoffs watching. I'm pumped for my first Stanley Cup Final series. Well, that's excellent. I couldn't see it if you actually had a profile pic of somebody holding the Stanley Cup, but it doesn't look like it. But yeah, welcome. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, community, for making new hockey fans feel welcome here. And of course, we don't mind who you cheer for, even though we're going to be Hurricanes homers for this Stanley Cup Final, most definitely. They've been my favorite Eastern Conference team for a while here. Rod Brind'Amour, I've been a huge fan ever since he's come on board here with Carolina. And hopefully the Hurricanes can find a way to win their first cup in 20 years. But the Vegas Golden Knights cannot be taken lightly. They are the quote-unquote underdog in this series, but they've been playing just as impressive of hockey as the Hurricanes have, especially in the Colorado Avalanche in 4 straight games. I don't think that that's a fluke whatsoever with how dominant they looked in stretches. Who's Cortana's pick? You know what? I never actually figured that out. So here, let's do a live test, huh? All right, Cortana, here, come here, girl. All right, who's Cortana picking? Hey, Cortana, this is the Golden Knights. This is the Hurricanes. Canes, baby, let's go. All right. You can have this one too. And there you go, Ethan. Those can also work as your super treats. Whoa. We've actually got I haven't seen a spammer in forever. That's funny. I mean, hey, I appreciate the enthusiasm behind this, but we won't be doing any of that. I can't remember the last time we had a spammer on this on a stream. I'm rocking the turbo jersey tonight. All right, thank you, Tony. That's encouraging, and hopefully we can get like Nikolai Ehlers to channel some turbo and put one in the back of the net. That'd be great. Albeit Carter Hart is playing exceptionally well right now for the Golden Knights. Ever since kind of deep in that Utah series, he's really put it together. I'm going to go with the Knights as Hunter Media, and I'm predicting the Knights to win this. I actually have them winning this in 5 games, not because I don't want Carolina to win. It's just that to me the Knights just look like they're continuing where they left off in 2023, frankly. And their forward group is even better, and their starting goaltending is just as good right now. Nick, what's going on, man? Who did you end up picking in the Stanley Cup Final? Like, who do you have winning this? Because I know that you and I were on the same page. We had Montreal representing the East. You did sooner than I did, but yeah, of course the Hurricanes got through them pretty quickly, and the Knights, just blitzed through the President's Trophy winner. I've been realistic about it as well. Yep, exactly. We gotta make sure that we stay on an even keel here. It's just the start of a 7-game series. Even though I think it's like 76% of the time, the team that wins game 1 actually wins the final. So just an announcement, guys. Puck drop will be at around 8:22, I think, Eastern. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new banner here, so then that way I can put it up, because some people will be like, hey, why hasn't puck dropped this yet? So I appreciate your patience. If you can let me just take care of this here. How do I make a new banner? I've totally forgotten how to do this in the StreamYard UI. Let's see. Well, I've got that. That's good. Create a banner. Okay. Puck drop 8:22 EDT. All right, there we go. Put that guy up. All right. There we go. Okay. I saw Riley in here. There you go. You got a Vegas jersey and Hurricanes hat. There you go. Right. I know it's going to be unfortunate to see one of those two teams lose, but just try to be glass half full with it. I hope it goes 7. I mean, if the Hurricanes win 7, that'd be nice to do it in front of their home fans. And same thing for the Knights too. If they're going to win, I'd rather they win it in like 6 games, so then they can do that in front of their home fans. The spam robots, those were some dirty robots. Very spicy content, right? I had this is Metnock says I had Vegas winning the cup before the season started. Wow. Right now, I'm not sure. Rather, 55-45 in the Hurricanes' favor. Interesting. I didn't have the Knights quite as high myself. And thank you, CJ. I appreciate you helping out with this. Yeah, we're not used to getting spammers on this, but all's good. We've got our mods here. I'll be watching the chat pretty consistently here. And by the way, guys, I didn't even say this, but as you probably know, at first intermission we're going to have Stanley Cup Finals trivia, and at second intermission we're going to have Guess the Player. So in case you're not familiar with Guess the Player, that's where we have a cryptic-looking photo. In this case, it's going to be somebody who's holding the Stanley Cup, and then you're going to try to guess who that is. Yeah, I got the Twisted Wrister shirt. You got it. Okay, well, first of all, I'm so glad that you were able to scoop one up because I didn't think that my vendor was like shipping stuff anymore. I kid you not. It took like 8 months for Jaws to get a shirt that I had mailed over to him. But thank you. Is it the Panthers logo recolored? You'll have to let me know. You're gonna say Golden Knights in 7. Yeah, I've got the Knights as well. Rocking a Panthers Kachuk jersey, paying homage to last year's champs. Interesting. Do you have any Canes there, Jake? I'm not sure if you do. As a Wild fan, I'm envious of the Knights. They've been a team for 9 years and have appeared in 3 Cup finals. Well, we've been around for 25 and nothing. Hey, you could always beat the Blue Jackets, but I feel you, man. Right? They sweep. They sweep the Avalanche. You guys have an emotional series against the Stars, and just what's it going to take to actually get to the final in the first place? Because 2003, as great of a run that was quite some time ago. And oh yeah, by the way, Nick, I forgot your message earlier. Spammer isn't making anything easier. I'll be going with the Hurricanes. The defensive game is impressive, and I want Carolina to beat the Evil Empire. Well, I'm not going to dispute that whatsoever. Riley says it's going to be a toss-up. Of course, Hart says Hurricanes. Head says Knights. Brandon Saad going for his 3rd ring. Would that be the most on the Golden Knights? I think Braden McNabb also might be going for his 3rd ring. I could be wrong, though. I see, Jake. I respect the traditions. We got Hockey from Home in the building. Good evening to you and happy Stanley Cup Final. Hey, my commitment here is if the Hurricanes win the Stanley Cup, I'm totally going to get a jersey with the patch on it. Or I don't know if I'll send this in for customization because they haven't been wearing this in the playoffs. But yeah, I'll do something around that. Hoping and praying for Carolina. Yes, sir. And you've actually been to a game or two, right? In Raleigh? Raleigh. Let's see here. Knights have been hot since Torts took over. Yeah, and I mean it's all. Oh, Cortana, poor girl. I had to do some carpet cleaning in here. It just smells awful from chemicals. So I don't know if Cortana is going to be hanging around with us or if she'll be outside the room. I don't fault her for that, but don't worry, I'll bring her in for treats and that kind of thing. I mean, hey, you can make her stick around if you want to throw some super chats our way. We're not going to say no to that. Wish the hurricane flag pattern. Wait, wish Carolina had the hurricane flag pattern on their jerseys. Yeah, I totally agree with that. The Carolina identity crises. Oh yeah, Matt Knox said both teams could be considered to be playing a structured game rather than with speed. Do you think that suggests something about the state of the NHL these days? Not entirely. I think that when you look at the Golden Knights, they're still a team that you can't beat them with speed. And so having size on your team can actually be beneficial, to play a playoff brand of hockey. So, yeah, but I mean, structure is certainly a piece of it, right? Brind'Amour's structure actually, paid off this time, and some people have been talking about how they actually attack more off the rush than previously. And now that I think about it, yeah, I would agree there. Uh, but but yeah, I think that the difference for Carolina in this case is that they're facing a team that one can finish better than them in the Golden Knights. Two, they've got the veteran leadership and expertise, not like so much the Canadiens or the Flyers, right? It's like the top producers for the Golden Knights. A lot of those guys have gotten it done with the team already in the Cup final, and the Hurricanes haven't really faced that yet. And Vegas, that defense, there's a ton of beef on that defense. And so I can't give them the advantage that a lot of others are giving Carolina. So that's why I'm sticking with Vegas for my prediction. One team will be 1-2, and the other will be 2-1. That's right. Knights losing their first final in 2018. Hurricanes losing their first final back in 2002, and as you probably know, they never went to the final as the Hartford Whalers. I got them winning the Stanley Cup just to see Leafs fans in pain. Yeah, I think a lot of people are probably feeling that sentiment, right? They're like, I hate the Golden Knights, but I hate the Leafs even more. So that could be quite entertaining on Hockey X and also on Steve Dingle's channel. My goodness, my friend! Wow, we are really having a good time there with the spammy spams. So anyway, puck drop is going to be in 25 minutes approximately. This is the matchup you never expected at all. Well, it's interesting because earlier in the decade, like around 2021 or 22, we were expecting these two teams to meet up, and then it just never happened. They were getting to the conference final, and they weren't getting through. Yeah, and I'm sure other channels are going to get spammed as well. Not that I wish that on them. I certainly hope that YouTube can get that stuff cleaned up for us here. Yeah, we'll have, of course, our trivia at first intermission and our guess the player at second intermission. By the way, I saw Jake that you extended your membership. Thank you very much, and also Ethan, thank you, kind sir. Cortana's off camera right now, so I'll just chill here. Carolina was more expected this year, but hey, Vegas gonna Vegas. Yeah, I think that of course, if you look at this, even if the Knights had won the division under Bruce Cassidy this year, I don't think many people would have them getting to the Stanley Cup Final. Conference final, maybe, just because the Pacific is pretty weak. And as we saw with the Oilers, they certainly didn't look any bit like they did last year. All right, so we got a poll up right now. That's good. So 2-1 margin for the Knights at the moment, but we'll keep that up for a little while there. Wish the NHL would put the Stanley Cup logo on the blue line again. Yeah, the branding for the Stanley Cup is not particularly my favorite. Not to say like the old logos were amazing, like right before this one, but I don't know. They just have more personality. If you look at the logos from the 90s and before that, those logos were pretty fun. The Knights are Western Conference champions, are the first Western Conference champions with more losses than wins. Really? Yeah, I know that the 91 North Stars were a surprising team. So you might be right. I'm not entirely sure. Knights were having a lot of injuries. Well, that's one good storyline heading into these finals is that, yeah, sure, Pietrangelo is injured, but I mean, they've dealt with that since the beginning of the season, right? So Knights are really healthy. Canes are really healthy as well. So hopefully that's exactly what we'll get all series long. I think that at least there haven't been injuries that have been reported, right? It's not like we know that somebody's playing through a separated shoulder or something like that. The current Stanley Cup branding sucks. Yeah, it's just a little bit soulless in my opinion. All right. Well, I know that we have the poll up right now, but you guys can let me know what you think the score prediction is going to be for tonight. Like I said, going with the Golden Knights to win this series in 5 games, I bet they open things up. I kid you not. I'm going to say that they shut them out 3-0. Now if I know that the game is on ABC, but I've got Hulu, so can I watch through that because I have the ESPN Live bundle? I really hope I can because that would be the dumbest thing. So I guess I'm gonna take the next few minutes to figure out if this is something that I can even watch. You're going Canes 4-2. I should be able to watch on Hulu. Okay. Because it said that my programming had ended. Oh, puedo verlo en español. Muy bien. Okay. I think I've got... Yeah, I've got it on Hulu, I think. Thank you, Nick. Game 1's in Flair Country. Yes, sir. No matter who wins, one player from North Dakota is winning the Stanley Cup Final. Oh, I have no idea where these guys went to college. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to guess. NHL makes it far too difficult to watch. Mostly so. I mean, at least in the regular season, yeah, there are exceptions where you have to watch, a national game on TNT. But if you have the ESPN Plus package, you don't have to worry about blackouts, which I mean, I do at times, but that's not the worst way to follow your team over the course of the season. But yeah, the whole thing, like where it's on, ESPN and then also on TNT. That's Dean. How we feeling, man? Happy Stanley Cup Final to you. Ray Bork is the opening act on ABC. I'm not seeing him here on my screen right now, but of course, Bork maybe the most iconic Stanley Cup lift of all time. Maybe. Being a Penguins fan in the Philly area, yeah, that sounds awful. Yeah. I'm lucky the Sharks aren't a blackout market for me now, but still, like, I have 3 there are 4 teams that are a blackout market for me, which is so silly. Nervous, but confident. Just kind of like, if the team could find the game at some point, even if they're just basically absorbing all the Carolina lines attacking at them, the Knights are a team that you can outshoot, and they'll still outscore you by 3 goals, you know? Taylor Hall would be your pick to win the Conn Smythe if Carolina hoists said cup. Yeah, he's been outstanding. That whole line has been excellent, and good for Taylor Hall. I mean, it was interesting when some people were saying, "Hey, he would be the only if he won the Conn Smythe, but like didn't make the Hall of Fame because people wouldn't think he'd make the Hall of Fame. He'd be the only league MVP and Conn Smythe winner to never get into the Hall of Fame. That would be kind of mind-boggling. But like, even if he did that, I don't think I would put him in the Hall of Fame so much. Either way, I mean, I'm just hoping that he can continue things the way that he's been going in these playoffs. Knights and 4. This is Lou, big Lou. Wow, that's bold. I'm picking the Knights myself in 5. I think Hurricanes can at least get one off of them, but yeah, they're riding quite a wave of momentum and confidence after you just dismantled the Avalanche. For a lot of the Hurricanes and some of the Knights, there is more important. This is their more important series. If I were in their shoes, I would. I'd have to listen to the soundtrack, I suppose. So we're what, about 17 minutes from puck drop, about. So wait, Nick's probably the one who knows, or Dean. Is Sean McDonough doing the broadcast, or is somebody else? I really just wish Bob Wischusen would do it. Okay, friend. Okay, that's enough of that. You know. Yeah, no. Thank you, Jake. You got the Canes in 6. All right. CJ, whoa, 4 months. So that means in what, September? No, excuse me, October, July, August, September, October. I don't know what's better. I'm getting married that month, but you're also going to be a member for 4 years. Bob Wischusen? Oh, F yeah, that's good. I like Wischusen quite a bit. Did anybody see urinating trees video for the Cup final? Well, the last like 5 minutes were pretty damn funny. Do not let my fiance. Well, guess what? Mrs. Twister is actually working right now. She hasn't gotten off just yet, so it's my members are my first love. I hope it's Wischusen, but you also heard McDonough. Yeah, he's a urinating tree. Pretty hilarious. Raleigh, please keep coming to our games. I can't do it justice. My voice is not raspy either, so. Although I do a decent much, but that's not coming out until Carolina's up by 4 goals in the final period. Go Canes from an emotionally numb. Oh, Jeremy, buddy, why? My heart's broken. Not so much for your abs, but for Brent Burns. I only wish he was still in Carolina Red, but yeah, I know it's unfortunate you guys come up short like that. It'll be an interesting offseason, and now Chris McFarland is off to Nashville as the general manager of the Preds. It is Sean McDonough. Ah, excuse me. Ah, yeah. Oh, sorry there, Sherwin. Yes, we got my Burnsy bobblehead here. I got a Natchez at the game I went to 2 years ago, but one of our local Canes fans found had an extra Burns one, so we traded. You Kenny Albert? Kenny Albert, it's Trevor. Trevor, were you the one who swapped with me? I can't remember if it was you or somebody else. I apologize, but we got to bobble Brent Burns' head for good luck here because he was the true ex Shark who should have won the Stanley Cup this year. And then this guy here is from a game that I went to when I was 11. Sharky actually brought this to me. It was my birthday. Yeah, it stayed in pretty good shape over time. It's just got a little, gotta stitch this up. That's about it then. Ah, yes. And then Dustin, 3 years ago, he gave me this little Sharks helmet that was signed by Hurdle. So I mean, I might have to hide this somewhere for this series. Actually, wait a second. I've got another former Carolina Hurricane bobblehead, I think. Didn't Derek Ryan play for the Canes for a while? He played in Europe for most of his career, like through his 20s, and then he somehow found a way out in NHL roster and played for the Canes for a while. So yeah, of course he was honored in Spokane a couple years ago because he is from the area, right? Yeah. It feels like Taylor Hall has more points this playoff run than he did his whole time with Chicago. I could see that, or at least that second line for the whole game. Wow. So they're just saying that since 1987, there's never been a matchup that featured two teams with 5 losses or fewer. So, of course, the Knights coming in with a very impressive record. I mean, they've only lost 4 games in their first 3 series, with 4 of those games coming against the Avalanche. And meanwhile, the Hurricanes have lost 1 game. It was the only time the Hurricanes have given up more than 2 goals in a single game. And that was game 1 against the Canadiens after they had an 11-day gap between their games. So they were super rusty and got their asses kicked, and then they basically just returned the favor to Montreal. What do we? All right, about 10 more minutes until puck drop, everybody. 10 minutos. Probably what I can do is charge that up. I'm not gonna use it. One sec, guys. One sec. Yeah, I mentioned this earlier, but I think it's great though that both teams are pretty much able to ice their true rosters. It's not like they're going to be held back so much by injuries. Carter Hart's I think he's been sporting like a 940 save percentage since like game 5 against the Mammoth, something ridiculous like that, or game 4. Freddie Anderson has 1 blemish really. He hasn't been tested a whole lot though since the Ottawa series, if you even want to call him being tested at that point. So he's been making the saves that he needs to for the most part. There was a goaltender named Grant Fuhrer who used to do that sort of thing. Albeit the Hurricanes they're not going to score 6 goals a game. So you probably already know, but Mitch Marner leads all playoff scorers for the Knights with 21 points in 16 games. Also above a point per game for Vegas is Jack Eichel, 2 goals, 16 assists. Pavel Dorofeyev and Brett Howden You did not have that on your bingo board. I'm surprised. But Dorofeev and Howden each have 10 goals for the Knights. Then, as I was mentioning earlier with Carter Hart, he's coming in with a .922 save percentage for the playoffs. 12.7 goals saved above average. That's pretty remarkable. And also, I didn't mention this earlier, but among defensemen, Shea Theodore for the Knights has the most points on his team. Well, most points among defensemen on his team. 4 goals and 7 assists in those 16 games. On the Hurricane side of things, as Nick was kind of alluding to earlier, Taylor Hall would be his Conn Smythe pick. And that whole second line leads the team in scoring. 16 points in 13 games for Taylor Hall. Jackson Blake also comes in at over a point per game, 15 in 13 games. And also Logan Stankoven has 12 points in 13 games and leads the team with a total of 9 goals. On defense, you're not going to get quite the productivity you can get from somebody like Shea Theodore, albeit Keandre Miller is having a very strong playoffs. He leads the postseason with a plus 14 plus minus, and he's got 8 assists in his 13 games. Well, thank you, Riley, and happy to have you here in what should be a fun time for the channel, at least for game 1. And I hope the Canes' power play is better this year as I worry about it. I mean, it's the playoffs, man. I just come to expect it every year that their power play is gonna kind of flame out. It hasn't looked that great since maybe the opening series against the Senators. What were you gonna say there, CJ? So your daughter was in the basement the other day. Stopped. Freeze. Runs over to your toolbox, points at Cortana sticker, and yells, "A dog!" Oh, that's so cute. I totally forgot that I had gotten you that. What was it? She got like a little T-shirt or something like that. All right, guys. About 5 minutes from puck drop, we've got Eric Stahl sounding the siren. I love it. He's got his kids jumping up and down. That place is popping off already. I love it. As I've learned, it's a pretty good spot to watch the game. Kind of a weird location just because it's on the edge of the campus there of North Carolina State. But once you get down to the seats, it's pretty nice. I like it. So we're going to oh, there they are. They're presenting the Stanley Cup. Of course, Phil Pritchard, longtime keeper of the cup. I don't know who that's with him. But Phil brought it over to Spokane when Tyler Johnson won it with Tampa Bay in 2021. And we'll hit the anthems pretty soon. But I think what they're doing is they're actually going to announce the lineups. Usually they do that. I think they announced the whole team lineups, but correct me if I'm wrong. Of course, John Tortorella, it's been 20 years, actually 22 years since the last time he won a Stanley Cup. That coming all the way in 2004 with the Lightning. And that was an interesting moment for him and that franchise just because it almost looked like they didn't even extend the series to Game 7. They beat the Calgary Flames, and then Torts had plenty of other success out there with the Blue Jackets especially. Excuse me. And now he comes in with 8 games left in the season for the Knights and replacing Bruce Cassidy, and he's just kind of been hands off and just making sure that the players have what they feel they need and just making sure that they are confident in playing to their strengths. And that's pretty much how it's been going for them. Ban that guy right there. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, we'll take care of that. Wow. Okay now. Thank you, Jake. I appreciate that. Yeah, unfortunately, this kind of crap is going to be happening on other channels. We've got hold up now. We got Universal Habs back in the building. I am heartbroken. Gallagher is not going to be a Hab anymore. Yeah, it's for its reasons, but he's had an excellent career there, and it would be weird to see him in another jersey, but I could see maybe he take another shot somewhere else. I think he's from Western Canada, but anyway, I don't know about what what he might still be able to bring to the table for the kind of team he would hope to be on. All right. There's Jordan Stahl, the captain of the Hurricanes. Of course, his brother had just sounded the siren a moment ago, aka my doppelganger, my NHL doppelganger, Jordan Stahl. I'm just embracing it. Oh, the band, that guy? Oh, I don't really know too much about the streaming community these days. And Freddie Anderson, I hope that that he's able to play an inspired performance because, as you might know, Claude Lemieux, rest in peace, was his agent for 15 years, and so he had gotten quite close to him. So hopefully, he'll be able to take his game to the next level. I'm not trying to be bossy. You can be bossy, Mike Bossy. So yeah, we'll get the anthem, and then we'll get underway here with Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final. Wait, are you talking about Chris McFarland with the Predators? Yeah, that kind of came out of nowhere, frankly. And Joe Sakic's going to, at least for the time being, uh, assume the position of general manager once again for the Colorado Avalanche as they try to pick up the pieces for what was a horrendous finish to an otherwise sterling season. No pun intended, really. Now we're going to get ready for a drop in just a moment, guys. Cue up my banner for this one. Canes surge. Let's go, Canes. Let's go, baby. Finish the fight. Halo 3. I've got my Hurricanes hat behind me here. This great guy right here. But I haven't worn that in my streams yet. I wore this jersey, I think, for 2 games, and this hat. It's been good so far. But like I said, go Knights and good luck, Hurricanes. Yeah, they're going to need it. All right, guys. Who's ready? Who is ready for Game 1? Smash that like. Don't do it for me. Do it for my dog. Deputy Donut, I'm happy for Malhotra as head coach. Congrats to him. I always will have a fond memory of Manny Malhotra's one season with the Sharks, but he was very good in that time. I wish he would have stayed on, but then he went to the final with you guys the next year. Let's go Canes from a Preds fan with their one series they played against each other in the playoffs. But, stately neighbors there. Artificial potted plant. Okay. Here we go, everybody. Here we go. Freddie Anderson, 931 save percentage, by the way, and he is the recipient of 3 shutouts so far. Cortana's in her bed too, so I'll give it back. I'll send it back to Cortana. Just there she is, everybody. Smash that like for Cortana. All right, good job. Fireborn, welcome back. Enjoy the final, my friend. All right, well, puck hasn't dropped officially yet, but we've got the banner already up. All right. Stahl against Eichel. And the Knights will control to start the Stanley Cup Final and dump it in. Immediately sent back into the neutral zone by the Hurricanes, and all the way back down it goes for Freddie Anderson. I'll ramp this along the wall. I do think the Knights are always a team that can pick up plays from the wall quite well. But now coming the other way, we've got Ehlers. He shoots. He scores! Nikolai Ehlers, and it's 1-0 Canes. I was like, am I allowed to cheer here? Did that go in? Here's a treat for Cortana. All right, well, there goes my prediction. The Canes getting shut out. Wow, okay. Normally it's the Knights who score like 5 times in the first 3 minutes. Oh my God. And it's the Great Dane, Nikolai Ehlers. This being the first time that a pair of Danish teammates have been in the Stanley Cup Final together. One of the Great Danes. I'm chilling right now. I got no dog in this fight after the Avs are gone. Well, I appreciate you hanging out with us. We even have some Golden Knights fans joining us, despite me going full Canes homer here. But thank you for popping in. I legitimately thought they were going to call a penalty before puck drop for a second. It took long enough for them to drop the puck. Holy smokes, that was a bad turnover. Yeah, I know the Knights are usually they're a very disciplined team. That usually is as it pertains to penalties. And actually, Marner almost a chance out in front after a great feed from behind the net. I couldn't see if that was Theodore. It might have been him. Yeah. And now it'll be slapped back in by Hannafin. No matter if home or on the road, the Knights are dangerous. Yeah, they've been, I believe, better on the road in these playoffs, but I could be wrong. Canes bringing this behind the Knights net. To the point, funneled over, Chatfield. Now Stankoven with the loose puck. He feeds it over, and a great shot there. A good chance by Slavin jumping into the play. I don't know if Hart got a piece of that. But, yeah, a couple of good opportunities at either end of the ice. Stankoven going up against Stone. That's a bit of a size difference there. A shot toward the point. Hurdle couldn't get a stick on it. And a nice hit there along the wall. I couldn't see if that was Stone there, but you know the Knights. Again, they have the size advantage going into this, and that's why I've predicted them. Randy. Hey, thank you for gracing us with your presence, and go Canes. First 2 minutes gone by here. Mods, can we take care of that spammer? Yeah. You were great. Wait, what's up, Wild? We miss you in Minnesota. I don't know which Judd you're talking about, but Judd Zolgad, I know a thing or two about him. What's up, Tiago? Oh, I heard back from my friend Jose. He's doing fine right now, but he does have a surgery coming up here. He just has to get that scheduled. But yeah, just wanted to check in with him. I thought about you. Judd Brackett. Oh, that's the guy's name, Judd Brackett. My bad. I just know Judd Zolgad from Score North, mostly for covering my favorite football team. Humraj, what's going on? Good evening to you. Thank you for stopping by. Oh, you're good, CJ. Yeah, just whoever can get to it first, and I mean, it's harmless, right? It's not like somebody saying like really mean things or some BS like that. Okay, Knight's getting a clear, and a couple of black jerseys trying to converge around the puck in the neutral zone. That's one thing that I've really seen with the Hurricanes. They've been a nightmare to face in the neutral zone all playoffs long. Now Anderson for Vegas. And he has his shot blocked, or his shot passed. It's Spass. I know Marner will play well in the Cup Finals. One-timer, and Ehlers pumps that wide off the feed from Jordan Stahl. Still alive in the Vegas end. Martinook, and it's knocked away. And Keandre Miller will backtrack. Sean Walker having a little trouble with that puck, but able to get it out of his zone. Fred's got a new general manager. Yeah, that's a good pickup. I mean, Chris McFarland, of course, with Joe Sakic in the fold there as well. But Chris McFarland got Nazem Kadri back. He made the trade for Brock Nelson. He made some good moves. So I hope that can work out for you guys. And I love Barry Trotz, but it's very disappointing how things ended up. But kudos to him for stepping down, and best of luck to Barry Trotz and what comes next. Great to hear Jose's doing well. You said guess what? So what's going on, man? We'll get a puck out of play with the first 3:39 gone by in this game. I'm still keeping eyes on how much will Quinn Hughes get paid. Yeah, I mean, would you think the expectation would be for him to earn as much as Kaprizov? I would almost think that, well, I guess Quinn Hughes would be the next guy to set the market, him or Cale Makar. Vanessa, what's going on? Well, a lot of Knights fans stopping in. I mean, why should I act like I'm surprised? I'm not. You guys were hanging out with me during the whole 2023 run, except for the part where I hid like a turtle because I didn't want to cover the Stanley Cup Final. But thank you for joining us once again. Throw Cortana a treat for the new general manager. Why not? Here, Cortana. There you go. If Hughes got under 15, yeah, I think that's pretty fair. I mean, hell, I'm curious to see what the Sharks do with Celebrini. I don't know if they'll extend him on July 1st, but they're actually able to do that, even though he's entered the third year of his deal. I scored well on my test to become a certified accountant soon. Amazing. I don't know how to say it in Portuguese, but felicitaciones. Congratulations. And let's give Cortana a couple treats. Hey, guys, let's throw it down in the chat here for Tiago, because crunching numbers is a lot harder than it sounds. So well done for you. And I'm excited to see what comes next for you. Russell Bleeding Blues. Hey, what's up? Thank you for saying hello here and joining us. Miller ramped off the stick of Svechnikov, but into the possession of the Vegas defense. Now Svechnikov loading that pass over Mark Stone. Like, really, he's so skilled with his stick. You don't want to do that too many times, especially when he's not forcing you to. Dumped in. Now, I believe that's. I'm sorry. I'm bad with Vegas down the depth chart here. I wasn't sure if that was Korzak or somebody on the. Okay, I'm gonna make sure I know the Knights. I know like their top 9 forwards, and I know their top 4 defense, but I could do better as it pertains to guys like Coghlan, former Hurricane Dylan Coghlan is 52. And then what's Korzak? Oh, he's 6. Okay. I know Kolesar. Yeah, okay. He's 55. All right. I'm wondering if the Blues can get Mason McTavish from the Ducks. I know the Blues and the Sens want him. It's pretty. It's crazy that a third overall pick is already. He's been rumored to be potentially moved. Right. That's been going on for a while. I was pretty high on McTavish. Ever since he pretty much played his first full season. But yeah, he just hasn't really fit in so much. He just seems like somebody who would be a really good vocal leader for the team. Oh, good centering attempt out in front by the top line for the Knights. He's able to get the clear and dump it in. Barbashev jumps on it. So does Ehlers. Back to the point. Slaving a shot, but no traffic in front and swallowed up by Hart. Happy Sabres fan. Is this the light of the tunnel for the Sabres? I hope so. Very amazing step forward. So I hope they can build on that. And Zach Benscombe was a menace. And Consta Hellenius. Holy cow. That guy's made a great impression already in his very, very young NHL career. Did Steven Stamkos retire? What? I didn't hear anything about that. I did not hear anything about that. By the way, we're in a commercial break. Got to root for the Canes. You're darn tootin'. I'm just happy we made the playoffs. I mean, shoot, won the division, won a round, and I mean, you guys just didn't get the puck luck that you needed at the end of that series against the Canadiens. You know, guys, for anybody out there who likes some good brew, Trader Joe's makes an awesome Hefeweizen. Granted, they're not the actual ones brewing it; they outsource it, but they do such a good job. One of my favorite warm weather beers, the Bavarian Hefeweizen, and I can't even say that. Oh, uh, ban user and delete their comments. There we go. Wait, okay. I think that we've officially. Thank you, CJ. Yeah, I can't believe it that what was it? 25 seconds in, Ehlers scored. Your girlfriend got you fooled about what? Oh, about Stamkos? Now is she also an Islanders fan? Because judging by that, I would think that maybe she's, I don't know, a Panthers fan. All right, shot from the point. Oh, if the rebound stall would have had a pretty good amount of cage to work with there. Now it's Dorofeev trying to chip it by Slavin. They battle behind the net. Slavin comes up with it, feeds it along the wall, but Eichel gets the loose puck. Once again, around the net, looking for Dorofeev. Good tie up by Chatfield. He gets put down by, well, I guess it was Slavin getting put down by Barbashev. A clear, and now the Knights are barely offside. Right now, just one shot for the Knights, two for the Hurricanes. What did I think of Malkin re-signing 1 year for the with Pittsburgh? I wasn't sure how much that was, by the way, so I'd have to look that up. So his new contract is what, like 5.5? Okay, I think that's fair. I mean, they've done a really good job with managing the contracts in the last couple of years. So I think that's completely fine. I wouldn't have wanted him on a deal for much more than that. So especially with the cap going up, that should be fine for them. Let's see here. Here's Miller. Hart able to catch that floater. We'll get another whistle. Thompson's that tall. Yeah, for some reason I thought he was like 6'8", but he's like what, 6'6"? How many years of pain for the Canucks? The Manny Malhotra era is about to begin. His son Caleb will soon be skating in blue and green. Define misery, but like miserable rebuilding years. You got to say that there are going to be 3 bad years, and then things start to slowly get better. But yeah, they've got to get a franchise-defining player, and I know that it's not the best for them to have only 3rd overall in this draft. But hey, if it's Malhotra, of course I want him to work out there with his dad behind the bench. Score prediction: Carolina 1, Golden Knights 6. I mean, shoot, I have the Knights winning this series. I didn't think it would be that harsh to start things out. But then again, I said tonight would be 3-0 Knights. I bet it goes all 7 games. As long as the team that wins at home. That's all I care about. Because we have too many series that are decided on the road for the team that wins. Not last year, though. The Panthers won it in front of their fans, and the Knights won it in front of their fans in 23. We got Jake in the building. What's up, man? Ehlers wants to win the cup so bad that he scored in the first 30 seconds. Well, he probably saw that the Norwegians medaled at the IIHF World Championships, and he said, Denmark can do it better, baby. And so he decided to let one rip early, and it was a beautiful shot that Hart probably didn't have any chance at. Now a chance. Oh, Hall. Get his stick kind of knocked away there as he tried to get that on the net. So under 12 to play in the first period. Dr. Doom. Good evening to you. You got to let me know who you're rooting for and what your prediction is. So this puck is behind Freddie Anderson and goes into the crease there. You know, the Knights are going to be able to play well along the wall and behind the net. Freddie will glove this shot from the point as the Knights finally have their second shot on goal. And Cortana is like, where are my treats, Dad? Bill Belichick is at this game, the University of North Carolina football coach. And Gary Bettman, it's actually his birthday today. I didn't know that. But apparently there are discussions occurring these days about who will take over for Bettman once he officially steps down. Because Bettman is, what would this say, 74? Slavin. Good shift into the neutral zone. He finds Martinook. And a long-time Hurricane cycles it to Ehlers, who takes a big hit there from Hurdle, shot from the point. A little loose change in front that the Knights defense. I mean, you can always count on them to do a good job of cleaning up that stuff in front of the net. And nearly a chance for Eichel on a kind of a 2-on-1. Back come the Hurricanes. Slavin. Why does the camera keep cutting so awkwardly? I'm not liking that. I mean, it's a cool angle, but it's so jarring what they're doing right now with the cameras. Anybody else noticing that? North Carolina is a pretty state just like Tennessee. I haven't seen a whole lot of North Carolina except for just kind of driving through from Raleigh into Virginia. It's a good state though. I like it, and I do also like Tennessee. I mean, at least it's fun going to Nashville. Not so sure I could say the same thing about Memphis. Big fan of Torts. Yeah, I like Torts as well, and he does a lot for animal shelters and animals that need to be rescued. So of course we're going to be a big fan of that here on the channel. Bill Belichick at a hockey game. Never thought I'd see the day. Maybe his girlfriend gave him the night off or something. Here is. He's like, I know. I have something to confess. I've been seeing another Jordan. Aho. Glove down by Jarvis, and the Canes start the transition. Here's Svechnikov. A cross-ice pass broken up by Sissons. Hooray for Werenski got the Norris. Yeah, that's right. Big congratulations to Zach Werenski. And it's good to see the Blue Jackets, the fans get something there after what was a very disappointing finish to the season. We'll see what happens if they change the culture, as Rick Bowness was saying. This camera angle is driving me nuts. I'll try not to bitch about it too much, but I've never seen them do this for as much as they are. Okay. Second line out there for Carolina. 2/3 of it. Blake's going to dump it in. Stankoven out there. Shipped out of the zone by the Knights. And back to Gostisbehere. Shielding the puck and now sending it over to Robinson to be dumped in. Is it hot there? Here it's colder every day. Thankfully, we haven't had too many. It doesn't really get hot here until July, where I live. Then it goes up a bunch. It goes from probably about, I don't know. It feels like it goes from, in Celsius terms, it feels like it goes from about 23 to 33 in a day, and it stays like that for a couple months. But I could be wrong on the numbers there. But yeah, June's a nice month because you get a little bit of everything. And in North Carolina, it's going to, at least in Fahrenheit, it's going to be, here's Ehlers again on a breakaway. He comes and he skates. He scores! Ehlers does it again, and the Canes are up 2-0. Oh my goodness. Nikolai Ehlers, the Great Dane, strikes again, and Cortana is rewarded with yet another treat. This is a huge one. He's got 2 goals. I'll give you the whole one. There we go. Good girl. Unbelievable. And a fantastic little shake and bake move from Nikolai Ehlers. And, he's playing on the third line for them with Stahl and Martinook. Not exactly your offensive catalyst. But here he is with maybe the most memorable period of his career. Now Miller moves it over to Hall from the circle and off the stick of Hart and out of play. Yes, let's go. Emperor King, good evening to you. I got the Kitchener Rangers. And even though I don't really know much about their Memorial Cup run, congratulations, especially to Sharks goaltending prospect, the Twisted Twister, Christian Kirsch, getting it done in goal. I like seeing that quite a bit. I have a feeling Dean is doing this tactically because the last time he did this was against the Ducks in the second round, and we see how that turned out. So, well played. Wow. What a start for the Canes. But don't forget, I mean, here Carolina was at home in game 1 of the conference final, and they got absolutely bitch slapped by the Canadiens, only to dominate the rest of the series after that. DV8R IRL, good evening to you. You got to let me know if you have a horse in this race. Happy Stanley Cup Finals to you and everybody here. And for anybody watching, like our friend Tiago here from outside of North America, we most certainly welcome you here. Jake, I say you always got to be careful what you wish for when it comes against the Knights. It always comes back to haunt you. Cortana is, well, everybody here is a guest of honor, but yes, Cortana is more of a co-host. It's not the same if she's not here with me. Oh man, this is awesome. Great start. And in that case, I don't know why. Yeah, Vegas didn't even have any defensemen back when Ehlers jetted in like that. I don't know if they were coming off a change or something, but that was interesting. Actually, Coughlin was back there, but nowhere near the puck. Diehard Red Wings, good evening. Man, it's still a mess here. My God. Yeah. You're gonna have to get creative with how the free agency class looks this off season. But at least the cap's going up. What is that in degrees Fahrenheit? Oh, for Well, for me at least, right now it's like 70 today, which that's about average for this time of year. So that's cool. But I hate summer. No hockey. It's hot as balls. I like Ehlers because he was a Jet. You know, I'm just glad that he was healthy this year. You know, he's got a foul language for bringing up Marley's assistant coach. Hmm. My thing is like there are certain topics I don't like to discuss here, and you know, if somebody mentions it in passing, you know, that's one thing. I just don't like it if people antagonize others in the chat. That's when I get upset about that. Now, shot from the point, and lots of traffic in front, and the Knights are on the board. It's a new ball game, cup game. So that's how you can sell Freddie Anderson. Just get some traffic in front of him. And that's precisely what they've done here. Kolasar, Dowd, it's the fourth line getting it done for the Knights. Yeah, Kolasar just using that mammoth frame of his to get in front of Anderson. All right, beer number one, Dunzo. Ruthless Sharky, good evening and happy Stanley Cup Finals Day. So actually, the Canes are going to get a power play. At least, yeah. Hey, Brett, cheaters never win. All right, so the Hurricanes power play coming out, and they've been the Hurricanes in the playoffs. They've been awful, 12.5%. Golden Knights penalty kill has been amazing, as has Carolina's 87 plus percent on the kill for the Knights. And one thing that the Canes have been struggling with is winning faceoffs when they have a power play. And Taylor Hall has to take this draw. Knights control behind the net. Miller funnels it around. He's got Blake, and good job finding the point there by whoever it was from the forward group on Carolina. A shot from the point goes off somebody in front. I think it was Stahl. Play goes on. Jackson Blake bringing it out from around the net into the slot. Good stick there. Hall. Down low again for Taylor Hall. Cross ice. Miller shoots and blocked by McNabb. First 40 seconds killed off by the Knights. Blake one-timer. Sissons chips it. And actually nicely kept in by the Hurricanes. Stahl around the net. Funnels it back to Hall. Now Keandre Miller with Hall at the point. Blake, the cross-ice feed, one pass too many in my opinion. But Miller hangs on. Still no clear here for the Knights. 50 seconds left on the penalty. One-timer and blocked by Sissons. So the Knights can get a change. A big hot. Interesting. Hot wine. Oh, I do like a mulled wine. Hudson's going to learn a lot from the playoffs. Yeah, I think that for one thing, it's about expecting, the amount of contact to ramp up quite a bit, right? I got to credit the Hurricanes for how they played him. Ehlers looking for the bumper pass. Eichel trying to get the clear, but couldn't come up with the puck. Back to Ehlers, final 5 seconds. The cross ice feed to Jarvis. Back to the point for Gostisbehere. And the Knights might have something cooking out of the box. Charging in is Howden. He pulls up, cross ice, and a save by Anderson. Play still goes on, and the Knights are jamming at it, and really, Canes flirting with disaster there as Freddie Anderson was able to come up with the puck, but Brett Howden nearly with a primary helper. Yeah, thank you, CJ. If you're having a good time with us, please do hit that smash. Hit that smash. Please like the stream for Cortana and me, sure, why not? But big kill there for the Knights. And we've hit a commercial break, by the way, everybody. I'm surprised the Knights scored. No, you can never be surprised by anything that team does. Oh, it didn't score. Excuse me. Yeah. I agree with you there. I'll cheer for the Knights. Wait, you named both teams there, so I don't know which one you're actually talking about. All right, I got to get another beer. Like Curtis Curtis from Alberta says, another beer. All right, 1 second. All right, thank you, Cortana, for taking the reins of the show. All right, I'm going to go with my look. This is a cold weather beer here. It's a Mexican cocoa dark ale, but it's really good. So I decided why not. Claude Lemieux, amazing player for the Avalanche. And by the way, we're going to do our Stanley Cup trivia. There's actually a Claude Lemieux question. We'll do that at intermission. But for now, oh geez, Carlson almost caught Freddie Anderson there. Slavin and a big what a pass by Slavin, breakaway and denied by Hart. Was that Stankoven or Jarvis? I think it was Stankoven, but it nearly was 3-1 there. What a pass by Slavin, like right through 2 sticks. That's the best pass I've seen him make in his career. If that would have been a goal, that would have been the best assist he's ever had. Here come the Knights now in transition, and Sissons almost tapping that in on the back door. And my beer's yeah, stick around. We'll have trivia in 3 minutes now. So now in the neutral zone comes the captain, Stone. Anderson can't get that around Stone. He's fighting off 2 defenders. Walker from behind the net. Hops it up. And now pursuing is Svechnikov. Good play from McNabb. Let the Canes defense coming up in the neutral zone. It's going good here, Fatality. This is a pretty strong first period to get things started. Not just for the Canes, who I'm cheering for, but it's good pace. Does one of the questions have to do with Martin Jones? No, and it does not. maybe one day when if the Sharks are ever in the Stanley Cup Final again, we can have some trivia on their playoff their playoff moments. That's a nice way to put it. Down to 153 here in the opening period. Sorry, I was using the carpet cleaner, and there's like a lot of chemicals in here. I don't know why I'm getting stuffed up from that. But yeah, that was a huge save there by Carter Hart. You don't forget that one off of Stankoven, Kamloops Blazer alumnus. So we have a face-off at center ice. Kings control, but not a very good pass up for Eric Robinson. And backtracking Hannafin able to get things moving the other way for the Knights. Puck gets dumped down. Goss is there, and he tumbles behind the net, trying to keep that puck away from Keegan Colasar. So the fourth line out there for Vegas. That's how they scored their opening goal. Goss to spare, and a nice little swat from the Carolina defense, played by Hart up the wall. Nicely done, but intercepted by former Knight Will Carrier, who I thought was a huge difference maker against the Canadiens. Greetings, Tommy Boy. Thanks for joining us, and happy Stanley Cup Finals to you. Looking forward to the bright and positive future for the Hawks. Not to mention, you guys might end up with Ivar Stenberg. Unbelievable. But hey, it could legitimately happen now that Manny Malhotra is the coach of the Canucks. We'll see what my standards of Sharks do at number 2 overall. Yeah, what a good movie. Yeah, Tommy Boy's pretty good. I haven't seen that in a while. A long while. But it is a favorite among a lot of people that I meet who grew up in the 90s. Or perhaps the late 80s. Down to just 20 seconds here in first period. 2 goals from Nikolai Ehlers. But the Knights able to answer back after killing off the Carolina power play. 10 seconds left. Kings coming with numbers. Top line out there. Great stick by Hannafin. And the Knights will come away without a shot against at the very end of the period. And now that we've reached the end of the period, you guys know what time it is. It is trivia time, my friends. So get ready. It's going to be... Oh, wait. I've had Carolina on the power play this whole time. That's funny. For the home team, looking good so far, but the Knights say, not so fast, my friend. All right. So I'll just need your patience while I load the stream or the trivia slide. Really a PowerPoint presentation. So yeah, the way that this works, guys, is it's multiple choice. Keep track of how many you get right, just for fun. Me Metal Mike, what's going on? Correct me if I'm wrong. Flyers? Is that your team? I thought it was, but I could be wrong. Watch, you're probably like a Devils fan. But anyway, let's play some trivia, okay? So multiple choice. Keep track of your number of correct questions, okay? So basically in the chat, you just let me know what you think the answer is to question 1, okay? So the theme of this is, who would have called this one? The Stanley Cup Final. Okay, Flyers. Good season, great season. All right, so question 1. Who scored the winning goal when the Vegas Golden Knights won the Cup in 2023 and when the Hurricanes won in 2006? So which pair of players, one from each team? Is it Riley Smith for the Knights and František Kaberle for the Hurricanes? Was it B, Mark Stone and Matt Cullen? Was it C, Brett Howden and Justin Williams? Or was it D, Alex Pietrangelo and Rod Brind'Amour? So shout out your answers in the chat for anybody who's like, what am I looking at right now? So we frequently will do trivia at intermission, something that's, just to pass the time, right? So Tommy Boy saying C, Jake saying B. Oh, we are all about the creative questions here. But I will reveal the answer after just a wee bit. So hurry on up, and we'll get this moving. We've got 10 questions in total, by the way. All right. So I'll give you 5 more seconds. Who scored the winning goal for both of these teams when they won their lone Stanley Cup? We got Ovi fan in the building with the Capitol Building profile pic. I love that. Okay, so let's reveal the answer. It is A, actually, Riley Smith and František Kaberle. So the Knights won Game 5 against the Panthers to win the Stanley Cup. They won 9-3. Riley Smith technically scored the winning goal. That was the 4th goal of the game. In a much tighter Game 7 against the Oilers, it was František Kaberle scoring for Carolina. So that was question 1. Keep track of how you do. This is just for fun, though. All right, now we're on to question number 2, my friends. Okay. Which player whose career began after the 1967 expansion has won the most Stanley Cups? Is it A, Larry Robinson, B, Mark Messier, C, Jacques Lemaire, or D, Glenn Anderson? So which of these guys has won the most Stanley Cups? This player has won the most cups ever since the 67 expansion. And as I've said here, this is players whose careers began after that expansion in 67. And here we have Brian Trottier, who won a bunch of Stanley Cups himself. So shout out your guesses in the chat here. Just like Jake. I'll give you another 5 seconds. Okay, so which player whose career began at the it's hard to phrase this. Which player whose career began after the 67 expansion won the most Stanley Cups? The answer is, some of you are right, it is Jacques Lemaire. Now, Serge Savard played 2 games just before the expansion, so he is eliminated from consideration here. But Lemaire won 8 Stanley Cups, and then he even won one as a coach. And then Trottier, in addition to Messier, Big Bird Larry Robinson, Guy Lapointe, and Kevin Lowe, and Glenn Anderson, too. I think I forgot to include him here. They all won 6. Okay. Next up. Question number 3. When was the last time there was a sweep in the Stanley Cup Final? Was it 1995 when the Devils beat the Red Wings? 1998 when the Red Wings beat the Capitals? 2007 when the Ducks beat the Senators? Or 2012 when the Kings beat the Devils? When was the last time there was a sweep in the final? It's good to get it right when you don't know the answer. I mean, you have a 25% chance. So if you guess the same letter, you're going to be right probably once or twice at least. Oh, Cortana, you're such a good girl. Man, I cut some huge chunks of apple. Let's see if we can do the old alley-oop. Ready? It's a little gross, but if it works, that's when it's fun. All right, ready? Nope, never mind. That wasn't so good. My fault. All right, everybody. Everybody's guessing B. And you're correct. And also A, it did occur, right? So from 1995 through 98, every series was the sweep. So Devils over the Red Wings, then Avalanche over Panthers, and then the Red Wings beating the Flyers, and the Red Wings beating the Capitals in 1998. Ducks Senators was decided in 5 games. Kings and Devils, I think, was decided in 6, even though those Kings barely lost in the playoffs. I didn't enjoy that. Yeah, not so much. Not so much. But eventually you got yours, right? All right, let's go on. Lautaro, Bienvenido. Let's go to number 4 here. Thanks for joining us. Okay, everybody. Excluding the Montreal Canadiens, which two teams post 1967 have won the most Stanley Cups? Is the answer A, Oilers and Penguins, B, Penguins and Red Wings, C, Red Wings and Islanders, or D, Islanders and Blackhawks? Which two teams have the most Stanley Cups since 1967, excluding the Montreal Canadiens? Not trusting your team, but A. All right, I'll give you guys another 5 seconds. Actually, you guys are doing pretty good with this so far. I figure this might be the easiest question on here, but then again, I love hockey history, so. But good job. It is the Penguins and Oilers. Both of them have 5 cups. The Canadiens have 10 since 1967. And there, I just put up some extra info on when those cups were won. Remember the Robo Penguin? Wait a second. They never won a cup though with the Robo Penguin. I don't think, right? Because they were actually still wearing the current logo, right? All right. Next up, we've got ourselves question number 5. Which NHL legend never scored a goal in the Stanley Cup Final? Is it A, Eric Lindros, B, Daniel Sedin, C, Anze Kopitar, or D, Mike Gartner? Which of these players never scored a goal in the Stanley Cup Final? And here we have Marcel Dionne, who never even reached a Stanley Cup Final. Let's see what you guys are thinking for this one. Who never scored a goal in the final? I mean, I wanted to put Joe Thornton in here, because he only went to one final, but that would have been too easy. Because you guys know him, Sharks, or at least most of you do. Yeah. We're racking our brains for this one a little bit more, aren't we? Okay, I'll give you 5 more seconds. Okay, so for this one, I kind of threw you guys for a loop because the trap is thinking about when Eric Lindros got taken out by Scott Stevens, but that wasn't until 2000. He had made the final with the Flyers in 97 and had a goal in game 4. So the answer is actually Mike Gartner. He was on the 1994 Rangers who won the Stanley Cup, but later in the season, he actually got traded to the Maple Leafs. And granted, they were a good team with him as well, but of course, he wasn't able to actually get to the final ever in his career, I don't think. So it's Mike Gartner. Okay, we're halfway through. Let's go to question 6. The last final to end in overtime in game 7. Okay, I don't know why I didn't say that. But, I mean, it's kind of implied. The last time we had an overtime game 7 in the Stanley Cup Final was in 1954 when the Red Wings defeated the Canadiens. Who scored that overtime winning goal for the Red Wings? BTD, good evening, and thank you very much. Excuse me. All right, is the answer A, Red Kelly, B, Marcel Pronovost, C, Alex Delvecchio, or D, Tony Leswick? So who scored the Game 7 overtime winning goal in the 1954 final? Mario Lemieux wore it. He did wear it, yeah. I used to have a Robo Penguin that was customized with Lemieux on it, but just because of my situation, I sold it. I needed the cash, but it sucks, man. I love that one. Ah, it was a vintage one. Yeah, 72 years. That's right. Yeah. God darn. Like, that's crazy. My dad was born was born like 2 months later, basically. All right, let's reveal the answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I see one correct guy out there. It is D. Tony Leswick. I think Tommy boy, you got that one. The Red Wings won their 3rd cup in 5 years, and they repeated the next year as well. So the first half of the '50s was dominated by Gordie Howe and the Red Wings. But Tony Leswick, somebody who I can't say I've ever even heard of, but now his name is etched forever in our minds. Okay, we now move to question number 7. Which of these legends never won the Stanley Cup? Is it A, Tony Esposito, B, Brad Park, C, Neil Broughton, or D, Rod Langway? Which of these guys does not have his name etched on Lord Stanley's Cup? Yeah, Lemieux could have probably finished. I mean, if it weren't for injuries and cancer, he probably could have finished with like easily. You would think about it. 800 goals doesn't even seem fair to him, you know. All right. Any more guesses? We will move on to question 8. We'll reveal the answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So I learned from this one because on Hockey Reference, he's not credited with the Stanley Cup, but he actually does have his name on it. And I'm talking about Tony Esposito. So he didn't actually play in the playoffs with Montreal. He started his career as a Canadian, but his name is engraved on the Stanley Cup for that year. The answer is Brad Park, by the way, who was one of the most dominant defensemen in the 1970s. He got to the final 3 times, but he was a Ranger to start out, and in the '70s, we all know the Bruins were a dominant team to start the decade. And then later on, he got to the final 2 times with Boston, and they got bounced by, no surprise, the Canadiens. Okay, 2 more questions to go, my friends. I thank him for saving the Penguins. Hell yeah. All right, so question. Oh, wait, we're on to, or excuse me, 3 more questions. All right, question 8. Which player has the most points in Stanley Cup Finals history? This is Maurice Richard. He has the most goals. But who has the most points in Stanley Cup Finals history? Okay, I asked Perplexity to give me this answer. So it is AI generated, but I'm going to trust it on this one. Is it A, Mr. Hockey Gordie Howe? Is it B, Henri Richard? That's Maurice Richard's brother. Is it C, Jean Beliveau? Or is it D, the great one, Wayne Gretzky? Who has the most points in the history of the Stanley Cup Final? Not playoffs. All right, we'll reveal our answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, you can always trust somebody if their name is Universal Habs because the answer is indeed Jean Beliveau with 62 points in the Stanley Cup Final. Gretzky is second, but he does trail him by a little margin. Speaking of Gretzky, I think the next question is about the great one. Now, of course, we know that with the Oilers, they won 4 Stanley Cups with Wayne Gretzky, But we often don't talk about the ones that Wayne Gretzky lost. He lost 2 finals, one came in '83 and one came in '90. Which statement regarding Gretzky in those finals is false? A, the Oilers were swept by the Islanders in 1983. B, Gretzky did not have a penalty in either series. C, he lost all 3 overtime games in those 2 Stanley Cup Finals combined. Or D, he scored more points in the 93 final than in the 83 final. So tell me, guys, which one of these is false? And I think we're getting close to puck drop here, so we'll speed these along. So 10 seconds for an answer here, okay? All right, we're gonna go over the answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I saw some correct ones out there. It's B. So he took 1 penalty in those 2 finals combined, and everything else that you see here is true. And Universal Habs, we've got one more that I'd like you to weigh in on because guess what? Oh, wait, not question. Wait, I said question 1-0. Question 10. There we go. Because this one involves the late Claude Lemieux. Rest in peace. So, which statement about Claude Lemieux is true? He averaged a point per game in the Stanley Cup Final. He won 2 Conn Smythes. He never lost in the Stanley Cup Final. Or he won the Stanley Cup in 3 different decades. So quickly, can you let me know which of these statements is true? Game's back. Okay, we'll get moving on that very shortly. I'll give you five seconds. How about that? And then don't forget, we're playing Guess the Player Stanley Cup Lifts Edition at second intermission. All right, guys. Looks like we got a couple of correct answers. And yeah, you're right. He won cups in 3 different decades. It was in '86 when he was just 20 years old. And then 95 and 96, Devils and Avalanche. And then he comes back to the Devils for the 99-2000 run. Oh, shoot. Is it, did the Knights score again? Or are you just messing with me? Please tell me you're messing with me. All right. So we'll get back to the game, okay? Oh my God, no, you're right. The Knights did score. Ah, frick. Because it's the first minute of a period, and Vegas never fails to score that early. Okay. So we got ourselves a tie game. It's a totally different game. All right. I never gave Cortana a treat. We'll do that. It was Hurdle. Doing something that I wish he would have done in 2016, but he was injured, so I can't fault him for that. I never did the horn. Let me do the horn. So here are the Knights, 2 goals on just 6 shots. Barbashev. Oh wait, let me update the banner. Thank you. So yeah, it's a totally different game now. You know, I thought the Canes responded decently when Vegas scored their first goal. You gotta be safe, or you gotta be safe. You gotta be safe. You gotta be fresh. All right, Riley. Good evening. Have a good night. Enjoy the finals, man. Regardless of outcome, we'll see you around soon enough. Yeah. Fireborn's right. I mean, not the first time that this has been used before in sports, but the Vegas is the cockroaches to me, man. You're like, okay, you're done. You're kaput. Like, that's enough. You're dead. Nope, they're not. They just keep coming back. They are the biggest golden zombies. They are the undead. And I appreciate the Knights fans hanging out with us here. Okay, So here's Goss to spare from his own goal line. Into the neutral zone, chipped in by Carrier. Again, that was that fourth line for the Hurricanes that I thought really did. I don't want to say set the tone against the Canadiens, but they were kind of like closers out there. Really, they were the ones to just wear Montreal down in a way that in a physical way primarily. But yeah, and boy, did I learn that fast. Yes, Undead Avalanche. Correct, you are. All right. Here's Ehlers, the 2 goals for Carolina. Now Walker jumping into the play. A shot off the mask of Hart. Turned over to Martinook, and then my freaking broadcast cuts out. I'm going to have to refresh. Come on. We can do it. What's going on here? McNabb. He's got it down low. Oh, man. And Eichel, I just couldn't get a good handle on it because it was him against Anderson, and that was it. Second line out there for the Canes. Hall. And surrounded by 3 jerseys. Marner chips it to center ice, knocked away by Chatfield. And then dumped back in by Blake. Eichel into the corner. You got to put the Kings logo back on. Maybe a dicey moment there for the Canes, but Chatfield was able to knock that away from William Karlsson. Freddie, lock in, please. Yes, we need 2 Great Danes on the ice tonight. That's what it's going to take against this imposing Vegas team. But yeah, Eichel had Freddie beat, man. He could just popped off his stick. All he had to do was just tap it in. I knew this wasn't going to be an easy team to beat. Yeah. You could be up 3. I mean, shoot, we saw the Avalanche up 3-0. Yeah, we saw how that turned out, right? In one of those games. I think it was game 2. I don't know. That series, unfortunately, was over in a blink of an eye. Knights 2 goals on their first 7 shots. Hurricanes, they've already put 14 on net against Carter Hart. All right. Marner has this one behind the net, and he sends it out in front for Karlsson, and nobody's marking him. The Knights have the lead in this game. We'll give Cortana a treat. We tend to give treats to everybody, no matter what team or to her from when there's been a goal from either team. Yeah, I mean, just like that. I don't know. Jarvis is in no man's land there. He doesn't pick up Karlsson because there were 2 Canes defenders below the goal line. And I saw that happen in game 1 against them. But, I mean, shoot, you can't say that Freddie Anderson had anything to do with that going in. Here we come. Yeah, with Authorita. But yeah, that's already 3 unanswered goals by the Knights. Unreal. Totally different game. Wait, sorry about that. My banner didn't update. There we go. There we go. Yep, William Karlsson puts the Knights out in front. And here we go. And this is why I have a fridge that is chock full of beer. 4th line out there for the Canes. The Hurdle line taking the ice for the Knights. Dumped in by Nikishin, one-timer, and Hart paddles that aside. Here we go again, said 31 collective fan bases. Mostly right. You think the Avalanche are in trouble cap-wise, or can they figure something out? I haven't looked at teams' cap situations, to be honest. I didn't think it would be that bad right now because you still have Makar on a good deal. Here's Joel Ward, former Shark, assistant coach for the Knights for a few years there. Yeah, shoot, you tell me. I know that they have to consider an extension in place for their superstar defenseman, but yeah, I don't really know what the cap situation looks like for them. First 5:30 gone by here in period number 2. McNabb at center ice. And Anderson knocking that away. And then here's Dorofeev. Guys, can we not leave Pavel Dorofeev open? If you're up by 4 or 5 goals, that's okay, but like not there. Not in that case. Eichel of the boards to McNabb. Behind the net, Dorofeev able to strip it from Chatfield. 25th anniversary Wild jersey is your favorite? That's not the first one I would pick, but it turned out great. And I do have the Reebok Edge 1.0 of that. So now some personnel shifting for the Hurricanes. Knights have this with the 4th line out there. But yeah, the Hurricanes have left a couple guys right in front of the net. I mean, that is something that you might see with Carolina because they can be aggressive defensively. But if they have both of their defensemen below the goal line, that's going to be problematic, especially against a team like the Knights who can play so physically in front of the crease. And an icing to the Hurricanes with 13:02 left here in the second stanza. Austin Matthews as a Wild. I mean, that's there's somewhat of a possibility there in the sense that Bill Guerin has seemed like he knows how to manage the cap, albeit I can't imagine Hughes, Kaprizov, and Matthews being on the same team even with the cap going up the way it has been. I could be wrong. Oh my, and Marner nearly made that 4-2. Yeah, the Knights are definitely sticking to their guns here, the way they're cycling the puck right now. Hanifin, Eichel to the point, and then Marner. I mean, the puck rotation right now for the Knights is ridiculous. It's a delayed penalty. That's probably why, but still. So the Hurricanes are going to be shorthanded in a moment here. But the Knights can still play with an extra attacker out there. 6-on-5. Marner down low. He's got Howden. And finally a touch there by the Hurricanes. But the Knights will go to the man advantage. It'll be the first power play of the series for the Knights. Going to the Spurs game tomorrow. Wow. That's got to be really exciting. Lautaro, the game is in North Carolina. Man, it's crazy. Like, the Spurs are, I mean, it took a handful of painful years, but they are back. And should a new dynasty be forming in San Antonio? Wait, it's what, a 1999 or 1999 rematch? Excuse me. By the way, we're in a commercial break, so when we come back from that, the Knights will be on the power play. Okay, good. Yeah, Wembanyama. Yeah, I don't know. Makes me think of Circle of Life. But yeah, that guy's the next face. Is it fair to say he's the next face of the NBA? Not to mention, I mean, we're talking about yet another French-born superstar Hall of Famer on San Antonio. Yeah. Speaking of NBA history, rest in peace to Rick Adelman, former Sacramento Kings coach. At least that's what I know him for. The Knicks aren't that far behind the Maple Leafs if you consider their respective droughts. Both have gone more than half a century. Yeah, at least the Maple Leafs have the cup, but that was with 16s in the NBA or NHL. Bouncing back and forth between leagues. Nice power play, hurdle, and tied up nicely by the Hurricanes defense, and they'll chip this all the way down the ice. Robbie, hey, good evening to you. Happy Stanley Cup Finals. I hope you're excited for this matchup. I know you're a Leafs fan, so things are interesting as a fan of a team that Mitch Marner used to play for, but maybe I'm just reading into it too much. Here's Hurdle on the wall. Moved out to the point. Marner now. Hurdle. He'll drop it back for Eichel. Worked down below by Stone. And now Dorofeev. Cycled around the net. Back for Eichel. Now into the bumper. Hurdle. And covering it up with a 5-hole save is Anderson. Hurdle was wide open there. Well, let's see here. When we look at the, crazy that the Knights already have the 2 goals in this period. They're threatening for more than that, certainly. But Marner has an assist right now. He has a primary on that goal by William Karlsson. So not exactly clownish yet, but maybe we have to wait till this gets to game 5, 6, 7. But I don't know. The way the Knights are looking right now, this might not even go 5 games. Originally from San Antonio, but live in Dallas. I see. Yeah, I've only been to San Antonio for like a few hours, really, and then Dallas just a couple nights for work. And Hurdle on the doorstep is denied by Anderson. Eichel, and he hit the outside of the post. Now just 30 seconds. The Canes are kind of reeling here. Here's Hurdle for Eichel at the point. Now Marner into the bumper for Hurdle. They're really leaving that open. And wide of the glove of Anderson was that shot from Dorofeev. The deception of these Golden Knights is second to none. Now Tomas Hurdle chips it past Sean Walker. Walker gives him a ride. Stone out in front. Eichel, and he has it knocked away. Still in the zone, though, but we're back to full strength. A shot from the point. And now the Canes regroup. Walker and Jankowski, I don't know what he was trying to do there. Maybe just couldn't quite get his stick on that puck. The Canes are able to change up if they want. God, this camera's just horrible. Here's Blake. Oh, on the goal line, he had Hall right there, but a good stick by the Vegas defense. Halfway through our game now. Excuse me. Now Gostisbehere. Retrieved by Hanifin. And worked back to his former Flames teammate Anderson. Intercepted by Nikishin, and at center ice. Here's Taylor Hall now, driving toward the corner. Misses the net. Chatfield trying to keep this alive. Good support from Hanifin, and now Rasmus Anderson works it up to Sissons for the clear. Fired out by Karlsson. One-on-one Barbashev against Martinuk. Now we just have a big scrum in the Carolina corner. Excuse me. Erasmus Anderson, Jake, the Golden Knights defenseman. Chipped out by Svechnikov. And now a backhander by Walker. Riley Smith, his second tour of duty with Vegas. And now his former teammate, William Carrier, flips it over to Keandre Miller, leading the defense for Carolina with 8 assists. He has that puck go through his skates. Now on the goal line, Carrier working against McNabb. He's able to get the clear. Smith firing it down. But that's going to go for an icing, I believe. No, it's waved off. Hurricanes haven't had a shot in quite some time. Last time the Spurs won a championship was 2014. Here's Stahl, a shot. He scores! Jordan Stahl ties it up. And my hockey doppelganger has tied up this game. And for at a good time when the Hurricanes couldn't buy a shot on goal and had been reeling for a while there. Oh, it was. So far, more offensively driven than I would have expected this game. Go Knicks. You know, Knicks haven't had a title in a long time. I don't care about the NBA these days. Let's wait till the Sonics come back or the Warriors to actually freaking strip things down like they've needed to for the last 7 years. And I'd be okay with either team winning. But I'll say go Knicks for this series. But I haven't watched a full NBA game in 4 years. So there you go. The captain, Jordan Stahl, answers back with yet another beautiful shot. And let's see if that gives the team a little bit more fire in their game. Eichel trying to pursue Martinook. Around the net, it's funneled and a loose puck to Chatfield. Down low. Back to the captain. And now Barbashev. Good effort to chip it out, but the Canes able to extend the possession. Stahl into the corner. Barbashev and Chatfield lays this into the slot. He had Aho there, but that went off his skate. This one comes out of the Vegas zone. And now the top line for Carolina. Trying to manufacture something, but the Knights regrouping. Eric Stahl was proud. You betcha. Knicks are the only New York team the city will entirely rally around because the Nets are irrelevant. Yeah, when was the last time the Nets were actually in a final? Was that with Jason Kidd back in the day? But we hit a commercial break. 3-3. Yeah, now this game, I'm getting a little nervous. I mean, thankfully, beer helps. Thankfully, beer helps. Did Eric Stahl score in the Cup for Carolina? I would be surprised if he didn't because it was a 7-game series and Eric Stahl was on an absolute tear that year. So in the 05-06 playoffs, Eric Stahl had 9 goals and 19 assists for 28 points in 25 games. In that Stanley Cup final against the Edmonton Oilers, Stahl had 2 goals in Game 5. That's the only time he ever scored a goal in that final. But he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 assists. So he had 8 points in 7 games as the Hurricanes won their first Stanley Cup final. Or Stanley Cup. All this talk of Jordan Stahl's goals from the 2009 final brings back some of your favorite hockey memories. I mean, I don't even know what his game was like back then. I mean, it's crazy for me to think that he even played back then, not to mention on a team that was led by Crosby. But because yeah, it's you think of Stahl and you think of Eric and Jordan. No offense to Mark or any of the other members of the family, but like you think of those two players and you just think Carolina. You know, the Nets were and always are will be from New Jersey in your mind. The sacred PS2 games. Let's go, Kerry Kittles and Kendall Gill, baby. Dr. J, former Nets legend. All right, back to the action here from Lenovo Center. Gains out of this behind the Knights net. Aho, Walker, at the point Miller, wide of the paddle of Carter Hart. Now Hurdle doing a good job shielding the puck and handing it over to Stone. Sissons a shot easily into the glove of Anderson. Get it a whistle. Yeah, Jordan Stahl with the Penguins. How many years did he spend there? He was there from 2006 up until 2012. So what is that? 7 years or 6 years? Excuse me. Was a Selke Trophy finalist. Was a Calder Trophy finalist as well. So not like an offensive powerhouse for Pittsburgh, but still logged a lot of minutes. And I'm sure a lot of that was defensive. And he's still doing a lot of great things defensively for the Hurricanes this deep into his career. Face off in the Carolina zone, won by the Canes. Skated ahead by Hall. Good back check there, sliding back check. Somebody in white. 5:33 left here in the second period. How much do we miss the Coyotes and the Thrashers? Now, look, I want to make it clear. When I say this, it's not because I don't care about the fans who lost the team, but I personally, it's not the same as losing like the Nordiques or the Whalers. Even though I really wasn't watching hockey back then, those would be the teams that I would probably sorely miss. Uh, so it's not as big of a loss for me as it is for other people. But again, I feel for the people who lose their teams. I know what it's like to lose a favorite team. That's what happened when the Sonics left Seattle. Yeah, so 1 for Arizona, 3 for Atlanta. I'd probably say, like, for me, it'd probably be more about, like, 4 or 5 for Arizona and 2 for Atlanta. Atlanta was just a bad the whole time I was watching hockey. All right, maybe a chance for Stankoven and a good closeout quickly there by McNabb. And now the Knights will charge ahead. Dorofeev onto the wing. He's got Barbashev. He shuffles a backhander that's intercepted by Sean Walker. Carolina Ranger. Moved ahead, center ice. A shot from Stankoven that deflects out of play. Omega, what's going on? Yode's branding was great. And I'm here to say that while it was you know what, I liked it when I was a kid a lot, the Kachina look. I think it's unique, but I'd still say it's pretty overrated. And yet, if they ever came back as the Coyotes, there's no other choice. You have to have that logo. As we hit a commercial break, and actually, I'm going to take a pee break. So hang tight, guys. I will be right back. And we're back. Pitching New jerseys were the only good thing. I mean, it was a lot of misery for that franchise for a long time. But yeah, the owner I blame it on the ownership ultimately though. And a save by Hart off of couldn't tell who that was just glancing at it, but we get a oh wait, I'm muted right now? Test, test, test. Got phantom power on. Wait, can you guys hear me okay? What about now? Good? No good? Okay. Oh, you can hear me? Okay, good. Yeah, honey. I know. I used the carpet cleaner earlier today. I'll tell you about that later. Just don't step on the carpet in front of the TV. Yeah. Do I think? Well, here, let's get back to the game here. I don't want to miss. I don't want to miss a thing. All right, here's Chatfield down low, and a good chance there, but over the net. It was off the stick of Martinook. I'm still waiting for Martinook to give me one or two of those clutch Jordan Martinook playoff goals. Chatfield. And now Carlson, who has one of the goals for the Knights. Out and behind the net, but he gets bumped off by Slavin. Jordan Stahl. He's got Carrier streaking into the Knights zone. 1-on-4. Will Carrier. And he gets absolutely bodied by McNabb. Or was it Korzak? I see 5 and I think Derek Engelland, so it must not be McNabb. Now we're down to 3 minutes left in this period, under 3. Carlson battling against Gostisbehere. Hands it off to Hurdle. Good stick check by the Carolina defenseman. Maybe we have something going the other way. Svechnikov is. Oh, wait, Jarvis collects the loose change. Hands it off for Gostisbehere. I thought he should have shot that. And now coming the other way is Mark Stone. Dumped down Jankowski, the first one there. And in the neutral zone, Hurdle. Jarvis trying to get himself another breakaway because he knows he probably passed up an opportunity to shoot. Maybe a chance down low, and this one goes out of play off the stick of Sebastian Aho. Have a good Cup Finals. Will Minnesota win a championship? Bro, I ask myself that quite often. Even though I don't really follow more than just the Vikings, I wonder, man. I wonder. But hey, Vikings, Nolan Teasley, that could be a good hire coming from the Seahawks organization. I know they brought in somebody else from Seattle, so that could be good for a team that's had a really tough time drafting efficiently. So anyway, good night to you, and maybe we'll see you again for another finals broadcast. Maybe something coming here for Dowd, and Kane's able to get the clear. They got some speed coming into the neutral zone. Here comes Sebastian Aho. He hands it back. Jarvis. Oh, looking for the one-timer for Svechnikov, but the pass was behind him. Dumped back in by the Canes. $1:45 left. Wait, here, I forgot to put Cortana back. Here she is. Oh, look how cute she is. If you have not expressed your appreciation for Cortana's cuteness by leaving a like on this channel or on this stream, please do. Whoop. There she is. Intermission's coming up. We'll do guess the player, so please do stick around. Dubs for Cortana. Yep. No matter who wins this game, it is a win for us as a community because we got Cortana hanging out here. Being So obedient. Such a good girl. Not whining for things too much. Jordan Stahl. Excuse me. Chatfield has some trouble, and he's going to get penalized against Barbashev. Yeah. That is not a good penalty to take. I know there's no such thing, but still. It's going to be a power play for the Knights. And I don't like this at all for Chatfield. Not to say it's a bad call. It's the right call, but still. As he gave Chatfield a bit, or gave Barbashev just a bit of a chop as he was charging into the zone, trying to pounce on a loose puck. Cortana is hanging out with Mrs. Twister, so I'll just go back to full screen here, and it's going to be a 2-minute. What was that high or not high stake? Oh, really? Doan got a management position with the Jets. That's interesting. Shane Doan, of course, beginning his career there before moving with the team to Arizona. Now breaking the other way, Martinook, he gets hauled down. Is there going to be a call against the Knights? No, I'm wishfully thinking. There was definitely contact there, but I understand why they didn't call that. Marner trying to sneak this by Walker. And he's able to get this over to Hurdle in the corner. Hurdle back to Marner. Marner working at Eichel. A lot of traffic in front of the net. And that shot, Anderson couldn't track it, but it went off the end boards. Dorofeev. Oh, now you're going to whine. Now Dorofeev. To the point, Marner! And a shot off the end boards once again. Eichel. Slavin trying to keep this away from Stone. Hurdle worked it back to Marner. Eichel. Marner, one touch, shot. Saved by Anderson. And the Canes get the clear. We're down to 15 seconds here in the penalty. Albeit, we're going to get a stoppage for something. I don't know if it was the net that had been knocked off its moorings. Yeah, it looks like that. I'm wondering, are they going to actually call something against Stone here? Let's take a look. Yeah, that shot, by the way, from the point had gone off the outside of the post from Eichel. Yeah, we're trying to see what's going to happen here. Slavin looks like Slavin bumped into Stone, and that's what caused the net to come off. So, I mean, without listening to the audio, I would assume that this would not be a penalty to either team. But I could be wrong. Yeah, no penalty. I think that's the right call. So, should the Knights not succeed here in the last 18 seconds, they would have 35 seconds left on the power play to start the third period. Yeah, I agree with you, Dr. Doom. I don't see how they haven't moved on from Shovel Day off. Just to get like a different perspective on things, you know. Final 10 seconds here. Anderson dumps it in. Barbashev, loose puck, shot, wide of the crease. Final second, Carlson off of somebody's skate. And that is the end of the second period. So the Knights immediately charging out the gate with a goal from Barbashev. Carlson actually gives the Knights the lead, but then Captain Jordan Stahl answers back for the Canes. So we're knotted at 3 going into the third period. But for now, my fellow Twisters, we will be playing some Guess the Player. So the way that this works is I have a cryptic photo on the left side of your screen of somebody lifting the Stanley Cup. So you will see in just a moment what I'm talking about. All right, so let me share my screen. Here we go. All right, everybody. So, left side of the screen. Who is that lifting the Stanley Cup? It could be from any year. It could be from any team. But the theme is NHL legends lifting the Stanley Cup. Don't pay attention to my logo on the right side. Because you'll see what I mean in just a second here. Who is brave enough to fathom a guess? Dark Charge coming out the gate saying it might just be Marc-Andre Fleury. CJ's just saying it's Ghost Rider. I mean, it does look like Nicolas Cage, who also doubles as a Marc-Andre Fleury impersonator. There we go. Tommy Boy, at least thinking a little bit more outside the box here. Maybe Scott Stevens? I mean, shoot, I had a lot of photos to work with if I wanted to choose Scott Stevens. Cortana has left the room. Da-da. All right, guys. So the answer is you are correct. It is indeed Marc-Andre Fleury in 2009 when he made that iconic save at the end against the Detroit Red Wings as the Pens won their third straight Stanley Cup. All right. We got 12 of these in total because it won't take as long as trivia. All right, guys. Who is on the left side of the screen? Question number 2. Who is this? And yeah, I try to make it fairly difficult, but not like impossible. There are a couple of these that might be pretty hard, but yeah. I've seen that photo many times. Only reason I had a clue. Oh, about Fleury. Yes, but who is this? Technically, this player is I want to say it. Yeah, he is a former teammate of Marc-Andre Fleury's. Any guesses? CJ, maybe Vegas? Well, you definitely see that completely out of place white band on the sleeving, so you might be onto something. Martin Jones in another universe. Bill Guerin with the Devils. Okay, so we're thinking this could be a Jersey one. Pascal Dupuis. Hi. All right. All right. Well, I want to make sure we get through these. So the player that you see depicted here is Alex Pietrangelo with the Knights just 3 years ago. Of course, we're going to sneak in a player or two from this, from the franchises that we're seeing tonight. It was the Fleury Teammate Association that threw you off. Okay. I get you now. All right. We move on to number 3. Who dis? Who dis right here? Who dat? This was not a teammate of Marc-Andre Fleury.
Hi. Could you not be so cute? Excuse me, you are not allowed to be this cute.
So yeah, with these guess of players, what I do is I'll crop photos. Sometimes I even change up the coloring a little bit. Not in this case, but I'll make it black and white. I'll blur it. I'll distort the hell out of it. Jason Kidd. Well, I mean, he wait a second. Jason Kidd never won a championship. No. No, he never did. Vlad Konstantinov? No, I did think about Konstantinov, but you're not that far off, my friend. Let's just say he has a role as to why this team cannot get back to their glory days. There's a small role in that right now. Hi, you're okay. We need more goals, or I need more super chats, and then I'll bring you back and I'll give you more goodies. Okay. I still think of him as a blue. Russell, logical Canadian raid. Hey, what's going on? Great to have you here. Thank you for joining us, and happy Stanley Cups. Aha, Jake. Jake gets it. It is Steve Yzerman. Off the wall hockey, of course, John. I love John. I wish him nothing but the best. I hope he's doing good. What? All hail the mustard Mustafa. All right. Well, let's go on to question number 4. This is an intermission game that we tend to play, guys. Logical Canadian raid. All right. We've got number 4. Number 4 coming up here. All right. All right. Now, who's this, everybody? Anybody got a guess? These are tough. Excellent trivia. Yeah, I mean, I look. You guys always impress me, so I always set the bar at a let's just say a challenging but not ruthless level, right? A couple of people are saying it's Kopitar, dark charged, like current Montreal Canadiens head coach Martin St. Louis. Mario Sonic Films is leaning toward Hockey Hall of Famer Dave Andreychuk. Actually, wait a second. I don't know. Wait, is he actually in the Hall of Fame, Andreychuk? He is, yeah. My bad. Quakey. All right, fellas. The answer to number 4 is. Look at that. It's Dave Andreychuk from 2004. Love you, Yzerman, but still feeling a way I can't. Yeah. I hear you there. Okay. Number 5. Here we go. Whoop. Who's this fella right here? I think you guys can guess this. Like, I think that the average person here who follows the NHL to some degree could actually guess more correctly than I could. The jersey threw you off of the previous one, yeah, like black and silver a little bit. I didn't actually mess up the coloring. I just threw a lot of blur in there. Tommy boy, that's Patty Kane. The Lightning's better logo. You know what? I would actually say my favorite logo of theirs never saw a Stanley Cup Final. It's the one that came in the Reebok Edge era. It's not like a great logo, but I like it the most, personally. What are we doing? Cortana's got the zoomies. Why do we have the zoomies? Chad Smith from Red Hot Chili Peppers, who was at the Seattle Seahawks game I went to one time. All right, so yeah, Jake is thinking maybe it's Patty Kane as well. And guess what? Huzzah, you are correct. It is Patrick Kane. I believe 2015 Patrick Kane, after they had beaten the Lightning. They won their first 2 Stanley Cups on the road. All right, we're on to the next one, which is what, number 6? I got to get through these quick. Haha. All right, number 6. Who dis? Who dis? I mean, that is somebody who has been battle tested in the Stanley Cup playoffs. That is a playoff beard, if I ever seen one. Not the Storm jersey. No. No. The Reebok Edge 1.0 jersey for Tampa Bay was actually okay. A couple of our viewers are saying it's Lanny McDonald. Colorado Rockies legend, Lanny McDonald. All right, I'm not gonna keep you guys waiting for too long because, of course, who's gonna? How can you find anybody who looks remotely like Lanny McDonald? It is most definitely 1989 Stanley Cup champion Lanny McDonald. Okay, number what 7 now? All right, number 7. Boom. I know it's a little wonky looking, but guess what? I'm pretty sure you guys are gonna get this one. Oh, Deadly Flames. Welcome back. I love it when like I'll mention another team or another player, and then somebody from that fan base will chime in. Like I sincerely do like that. That's always fun. That's a fun dynamic. So Deadly Flames, thank you for gracing us with your presence. Excuse me. If you need a clue, I can provide one for you. But I think somebody's gonna get this. Jake is saying Ray. You got the correct decade. Jake going for Taves. Captain Serious. Ovi? It's a total shot in the dark. So it's interesting because when I make these, I'm trying to see the image up close when I edit it because I just want to see how much I've changed things. But really, what I need to do, and I did this today, was I zoom out because you guys are gonna. A lot of people see this on their phones, and when you size it down, usually it's a little bit more legible. But in this case, I was a little bit too nutty with it. Right? Think about one of the most epic cup raises of all time that is not Ray Bork. It was the lone time this player won the Stanley Cup, and he was the captain on that team. Same decade, by the way. What? You're fine, you dork. Now Cortana's hustling me for treats. No, you don't get a treat yet, okay? We need more goals or we need super chats, okay? All right. Well, anyway, we got more to do here. We got like 5 more. So this, everybody, is none other than Rod the Bod Brind'Amour. One of the most epic cup lifts of all time, most definitely. Oh, Cortana, you goof. All right. We shift gears to number 8. Who is this in this little itty bitty photo right here? Number 8. You got to head out, Jake. All right, man. Thanks for hanging with us. Thanks for taking care of the moderation things. I appreciate that quite a bit. And hope work goes by quickly and smoothly for you. Number 8. Is that? Yeah, we're on number 8. You were thinking about Brind'Amour? I figured people might have made out the logo kind of. But yeah, you might see it differently than I do. McKinnon? No. This is old school. Like you see the little like holes in the helmet there. A little bit different. Tommy Boy Yard Curry? No, but not a bad guess. You got the era correct. I'll say that. Here, I don't know if it helps me or helps you guys to zoom in. I'll zoom in a little bit for you. Ah, yes. Jumping in at just the right time, Fisherman Islanders. You are correct. It is none other than the late legend Mike Bossy. Great job. Great job. Yeah, Bossy. One of the greatest to ever do it. On to number 9. Number 9. And this one's kind of crazy, guys, because you're like, what am I looking at, man? Yeah. I don't know. Does that make it easier if I do it that way? Dude, I don't even know who this is. Oh, yeah, I know who this is. I remember. the Islanders jersey color. Yeah, but I figured some people might also pick the Oilers. But great guess. This has to be Ray Borg. Well, he was wearing a white jersey when he won Stanley Cup. I think that's the only thing you have going for you here. This player is just as much of a legend as Ray Borg, I would say. But no, this is nobody on the Avalanche. Anybody else want to fathom a guess? Cortana says she's not impressed. No, I'm just joking. She just keeps whining. This player just kept winning because he won 6 Stanley Cups. Dark charged, right on the money. It is most definitely Mark Messier. I didn't show the one of him holding the cup because that's so iconic. People would have gotten that immediately. But yeah, we like to throw you for a loop here on Twisted Hockey. Well, a loop and a corkscrew, right? Okay, let's go to number 10. Now, who's this? I think we'll get a couple correct answers here. As my leather shoes rubbing against each other, it sounds like they're farting. I've done enough of that in this house recently to where I don't need to be doing that. All right, Kucherov got the right team. Here, we'll blaze through these because the game's going to come back on. Hedman, not bad though. Hedman won the Conn Smythe. Oh no, not that year. That's 2021. So what was that? Vasilevsky winning that. All right. Anybody know this? Wait, sorry. Anybody know this guy right here? For number 11? For that number 11. Come on. I know someone's going to get this one. And the guesses? All right. We're back to the third period. So anyway, here, I'm just going to quickly show you guys. So number 11 is Zdeno Chara. And number 12, to give you like 5 seconds to look at this one. Number 12 is 12 Zovi. There you go, from 2018. All right, man. I got to go back to the game. So I'm going to hide my screen. Okay. What's going to happen now, guys? It's what? 3-3. It was mostly Knights in that period. And Freddie Anderson way out of his crease there. But thankfully, this penalty's killed off. Now we just got to see if the Hurricanes can get it clear. Like I said, the Knights posed a totally different challenge to this Hurricanes team. And if you want to say this is the first real challenge they've had, I kind of understand. So. Oh, and that shot just goes off the end boards as the Knights continue to threaten Theodore. Peeking around, and they score. It's Howden's goal, his 11th of the playoffs, and the Knights are back on top. God, just 25 seconds into the period. Incredible. Oh, this team cannot be beaten right now. Lightning will retire Hedman's jersey. Yeah, I completely agree. There doesn't need to be any delay with that, right? I'm still looking more forward to the NBA Finals this Tempest. I guess if you're if you enjoy nostalgia, right, with these two teams facing each other after 27 years, right? Spurs and Knicks. Some piece Clark Gillies. Gillies and Bosky. I'm trying not to complain about this too much, but is everybody seeing the same camera angle as me where it's like all top down? Or am I just watching a weird feed? Because personally, I can't stand it. Not for live streams. So here's Sebastian Aho. And Dorofeev strips him, and Anderson turns it aside. Islanders were a machine winning cups. Yeah, just the only team to defeat Wayne Gretzky's Oilers in the final. In the final, specifically. Right now, Hurricanes are reeling a little bit, but they get it out of the zone. Here's Seth Jarvis. And he has nothing to show for it against Shea Theodore. Theodore works it up for Dorofeev, but we get a puck out of play. Freddie Anderson is going to give you a hit. I mean, like, dude, how? I mean, I'd have to go back and watch this without being distracted or without being, occupied by the stream. But like, how is Freddie supposed to save that? Because like, I don't know, is it a positioning thing? Not to say that I don't want him to, or that I don't think he needs to elevate his game. It's just like, how is he supposed to save that? I don't know. Schaefer is the next Islander star. He's already a star. And congrats to him for winning the Calder, and just a really likable dude. It sounds like, or it looks like. Anderson, Rasmus Anderson, Howden. Oh my gosh, they were outnumbering the Canes 2-1 down low, and the Knights are they smell blood in the water here. Leading the other way, Stankoven. Second line for the Canes have been quiet so far. We'll see if they can get something going here. Blake, back to the point. Miller shot, scooped up from behind the net by Hall. And here's Taylor Hall. He gets spun around. Oh, yeah, I never gave her a treat. Cortana never got a treat. My bad. Jimmy, what's going on? Good evening to you. Okay. Oh, sorry, girl. Yeah, there. Cortana's treat came off camera. Excuse me. And a puck out of play. Now, the Knights are actually out shooting the Canes 19-18. So, really, that shows you that Carolina is not going to be able to win this just on puck possession alone. I mean, for God's sake, they only had how many shots in the second period? Yeah, they only had 4 shots on goal in the second period. So the Knights actually out shooting the Hurricanes so far by a margin of 19-18. As the first 4 minutes have gone by here in period number 2. This is going to go the length of the ice. So we'll get a face-off in the Vegas zone on the next puck drop. Excuse me. Here's Tomas Hertl from center ice. Send it wide of Anderson's stick. Sissons jumps in, excuse me. And now Nikishin with a little time, trying to get it up the wall. But this is actually going to go all the way down. No icing, Carrier landing a hit. And Tomas Hertl calmly steers it down. Anderson for the Canes. Going to be turned over for just a brief moment here, but Miller with some time here gets it up to Ehlers. 2 goals for the Canes. And a shot there from Stahl that is denied by Hart. Ehlers behind the net. Funnels it back to Walker. A shot and a puck out of play, or are we getting a penalty here? We might be getting something. Or is that just me wishfully thinking? Then again, the Hurricanes don't have a power play in the playoffs. The Red Sox losing again. What else is new? Dog. I'm a Giants fan. Things are not exactly kind for us either, but I hear you. It's been too long since the Sox were could be taken seriously. 3 assists for Braden McNabb. I don't understand. He's worked out so well with that team. He just embodies the Knights ethos, really. We'll get a face-off in the Vegas end. Aho losing that draw to Carlson. Howden has the go-ahead goal so far. Marner was in the slot. And now this puck that gets kept in from the point. Chatfield. Oh, Marner nearly with the strip there. The top line for the Hurricanes comes the other way. Jarvis, and he loses this one at the top of the zone. Knocked back in, but back onto the stick of McNabb. And he takes a ride from Jankowski, but is able to get the clear. DeAndre Miller fires it in. This is just the second time all playoffs long that the Hurricanes have allowed more than 2 goals. That is pretty mind-boggling. But something tells me it's not going to be the last time this happens. You're okay, Cortana. You got to meet Willie O'Ree. That's awesome. I've seen him in person at a Sharks game. He was honored and dropped the puck there, the ceremonial puck. But that's so cool that you got to actually see him up close like that. And he continues to do a lot of work in the hockey community. We're going to get a penalty here or not? No, just a hand pass. We'll get a face-off. Thank God I didn't choose the Giants. I mean, I can think of teams that it could be worse being a fan of a different team. But the Giants have just been so irrelevant since 2014 for the most part. We're going to get a commercial break. But when we come back, actually, the Canes are going to get a power play. It's Rasmus Anderson going to the box for the Knights. And again, the Canes could use a shot in the arm as they still don't seem to have an answer for how to beat the Knights down low. We'll get a commercial. When we come back, we'll see what happens as this very good Golden Knights penalty kill will go to work once again. Albeit, this is just the third penalty of the game in total. Face-offs favor the Knights by a small margin. Hits Knights 32-22 for they lead the Hurricanes. Giveaways 16 for the Canes to 14 for the Knights. And as I said earlier, Braden McNabb's got 3 assists. I do not know how that happens, but it does. Brett Howden has a 2-point game, the go-ahead goal, and an assist. On the Hurricane side of things, of course, they're led by the 2 goals from Nikolai Ehlers. I sometimes question what Don Sweeney does. For now, he's doing good. And Tuukka Rask signed your Bruins jersey. Oh, that's super cool. Yeah, we'll see if he ever gets in the Hall of Fame. He's just right on that cusp, in my opinion. Yeah, did Braden McNabb win the cup in 2014? I can't remember. No, he was a Sabre before he was a King. I did not know that. Yeah, man, he's really carved out a good career for himself. As I didn't think that he wouldn't be that kind of player to stick with one team and produce still. My gosh. So a clear here for the Knights. I almost kicked the camera. My bad. Ehlers brings it through the neutral zone. Beck passes it to nobody. I don't know what he's thinking there. The Canes will regroup at center ice. Or Korzak, I guess. Oh no, excuse me. That's not Korzak. That's Lozon. Is that him out there? I'm sorry if I get the bottom pairing from Knights right. Jarvis, seam pass, Aho, Gossester at the point. One timer Jarvis. Nowhere near the target. And out of the zone it goes. Jarvis will pick this up one more time. Svechnikov dumps it down for Aho against Eichel. Now Gossester at the top of the circle. Seam pass and could not be handled there by the Canes attacker. Eichel takes it the other way. Eichel charges in. And Anderson covering up with the 5-hole and nearly lost control of that. Just 30 seconds left on the penalty. Can I smile and say go Yankees? If you're playing the Dodgers, then go Yankees, I guess. But that's pretty much all you'll get from me, Colin. The freaking Hurricanes could use a Cam Neely right now because they're getting smoked at the middle of the ice. The Canes are seeing their power play expire here. Out of the box comes Anderson. Miller's got it held at the point. Over to Walker. Shot. Good screen in front. I don't think that quite got toward Hart. Stankoven. Dumped down for Blake. Lifted clear by Dowd. We're down to 11:30 now. Walker. Miller being hassled, and from center ice, he's going to backhand this behind the Vegas net. Sissons comes away with it. He'll get it clear. Good morning from Germany at 4 a.m. Wow. I appreciate your passion for Stanley Cup Finals hockey. All right, so we'll wipe that power play off the board. I just don't know how the Hurricanes have an answer for this. I just don't know. We're going to get a delay of game to Mark Jankowski, and the Vegas power play will go back to work. There may be a chance to really put this game on ice in Raleigh. Yeah. This could be the game right here. Although I already feel like it's over. Hurdle's going to take this draw. Stall. The Hurricanes, and he'll win it. Sheffield lifting it clear. Oh, shoot. As my feed cuts out, great. Thanks again. So Marner will do the old back pass. Jack Eichel. Eichel looking for Hurdle. Trying to stay away there from Jarvis. Good pressure as Hurdle has to come out of the zone. Stone dumps in, though. He's got Hurdle, who puts that wide of the net. Good opportunity, good heads-up play from Stone. Jarvis working against Stone. He'll just chew up a little bit more time by cycling it down low. Canes can change up if they want. Now an errant pass in the neutral zone. Canes get it back for just a hot second, but Eichel can now take it the other way. Off the feed from Carlson. Carlson, 35 seconds left in the penalty. Theodore, stripped by Robinson. He's able to just chew up a little bit more time. Which starts in den Mittwoch. Oh, Otaro, speaking a little Deutsch. Or at least I think that's what that is. They went hard on Rask when he used to play. I think they got a little bit hard on him. I think that's fair to say. So we're back to even strength with now 8:50 left here in regulation. And an icing against the Knights, so we'll get a face-off in their zone in just a wee bit. You're going to dye your hair, your beard, and your mustache white. It's prom. You should totally, that's the time to do it, so go for it. The Miles Garrett trade. And we're the Cleveland Browns. I know you are. I mean, that's the Rams, man. The Rams, they can do whatever they set their minds to. It was interesting because I saw a Tom Grassi reaction video. Goss's first shoot, he scores! Tie game in Raleigh, Shane Goss's fair. Wow. So wait, Ray Ferraro is saying that there's something wrong with like a linesman ruling. I don't know if that means offside or something like that. Well, it was off the face-off, so it was okay. Yeah, so it's good. It's a good goal. Unbelievable, man. I remember the controversy Bruins and Blues in the Stanley Cup. Oh, I can't remember that. I was fully rooting for the Blues. Hey, don't worry, I rooted for you guys in 2011. Wow. God damn. Shane Gostisbehere has been such a great piece for the Hurricanes in his second tour of duty there. But just a great job off the face-off. And then Gostisbehere just pitches down into the zone enough. My favorite team, the Carolina Hurricanes. Please keep coming to our game. I got to throw in there. I got to throw that in there once in a while. Now Taylor Hall, the second line out there, the deadly second line that leads the team in scoring in the playoffs. 1, 2, 3. Jackson Blake turns it over to Stankoven into the slot. Hall and a partial block there from. Let's see if that was Carlson, but somebody for the Knights got a piece of that. How old were the year the Sabres won the President's Trophy? I was a freshman in college. Taylor Hall. Miller. And back then they had a guy named Miller over there too. You want Miller time? We're gonna get a whistle. I got to use the head, and I got to probably drink another beer. Okay, I got to use the restroom. I'll be right back. Another beer. Okay, I'm back. Oh, what? The missed tripping call against the Blues. Ah, if you played it back for me, I might remember. In the early days of Twisted Wrister Hockey. All right. 4 goals on just 19 shots for Vegas. 4 goals on 21 shots for Carolina. Hi, girl. Hi. Did I give you a treat? Oh, you want another treat? Oh, okay. Here. Go let him. Okay. You know what to do, girl. Ready? Let him. Okay, that's good enough. That counts. They lost to the Senators. I didn't know it was 5 games, but yeah, those Sens had a ton of weapons on their team. But yeah, nobody was getting past the Ducks. And let's see if the Hurricanes can manufacture another goal here. Chatfield shot from the point. It takes a weird carom. Martinook fighting hard just to keep this alive in the zone. Scooped up by Ehlers. 2 goals. Does he have a third? A shot! And not through the traffic just quite because McNabb gets a piece of it. But the Great Dane looking for another one as I'm looking for yet another beer. Woo. Cheers to all of you out there. Thank you so much for making this an enjoyable stream with me, even as I stress about the Hurricanes. Aho steers that away from Hurdle. Around the net, pinching in is Miller, maybe a little too aggressive. We'll see. Good backtrack by Walker. Scooped up, though, by Hurdle. He had a teammate right in front, and Anderson pounces on it. Otherwise, that is a surefire goal. If the Sabres beat the Sens, they probably lost to the Ducks. Yeah, nobody was getting past the Ducks. I mean, shoot. Niedermeyer, Pronger, Shiger. That enough. That's kaput if you're the other team. Yeah. Oh, Lord. Knights control the faceoff. And the Canes end. Fanned on the clear attempt by Jarvis. It's been a great game for Jarvis from the limited time I've seen him. Aho gets it into Svechnikov, kicked out there by Katahat. Stone, hassled by Svechnikov behind the Vegas net. Jarvis pursues, but Hurdle with some time will lift this clear. Glove down in the neutral by Miller. Dalton, good evening to you. Nice play by Blake to keep that alive in the Vegas zone. A backhander, and it's swallowed up by Carter Hart. Sorry, I mean I watched the urinating tree video today, so I've got a little bit of that in me today. We're gonna get another commercial break. We're down to how much time remaining? 5:49. Oh my God! Final 6 minutes of this period. Don't go away. I'll miss you too much. Look at that smile from Cortana. You too cute. Yeah, you've been such a good girl, haven't you? Here, we'll get Cortana full screen here with me.
Excuse me, can I get a kiss? Yes. Kiss. Oh, you dork. All right, here, give you some apple. Here. Good girl.
What NFL team do I hate the most? Oh boy. Well, I'm a Vikings fan. They're our enemy, but I love them for it. Like I want them to be our enemy, and that's the Packers. I hate the Packers and the Lions. Yeah, because Jake's also a Vikings fan. I don't hate the Lions. I mean, they had their run. They could be still good, but I don't hate them. I don't hate the Bears. There are definitely plenty of teams I don't like, but those aren't them. You hate the Falcons and Saints because you're a Buccaneers fan. Yeah, yeah. Jake as a Vikings fan, screw the Saints. I don't hate them the way that other Vikings fans do, but like I get it. Yeah, Eagles. Just because we can never beat them. As a Bills fan, I hate the Dolphins, Pats, and Chiefs. Yeah, I mean, like nobody likes the Chiefs right now unless you're a fan of theirs. But like once their run's over, I don't hate them. Just want to see something different. A shot there from the side of the net, and the Knights are able to lift it clear. Are the Chiefs a team that I hate? I wouldn't say that like I don't hate them perpetually. It's just like the little run they're on. Like I'll always hate the Packers, even if they're garbage. But I need them to be good when we're good, which is like it's usually the other way around. Like they're always good. The Packers are. Gossip Bear evades the heat and finds Jordan Stahl. One of the goals tonight for the Canes. McNabb. I don't think anybody hates the Carolina Panthers. Howden around the Carolina net. We are within 5 minutes now, friends. Lifted clear by the Canes. Ehlers. Knocked away by Theodore. Nice touch pass from Marner over to Howden. But he doesn't enter the zone cleanly, so he's going to send it back to the defense. Howden shipping it by Slavin. Chased down by Chatfield as he crashes in against Dorofeev. Pavel Dorofeev, he's got it. He shoots. Anderson gloves it and is able to cover up. Last time I checked, it would be cars and money. Something like that. What NHL team do I hate the most? I'll give you a hint. They're playing this evening. I'm a Sharks fan. So. But then again, the Sharks have been such garbage for a long time that I'm sure people would forget which team we like the least. All right, here's Keandre Miller. Finds Aho. Coming in is Jarvis around the Vegas net. Pinching in is Miller. Pad save. Rebound. Pad save again by Hart. This time off of Jarvis. Aho, good heads-up play to keep this in, though. Colin, typically you'd be right, but, like, we haven't had much of a rivalry with the Kings in the last... Oh! Hart, big save! Off of Seth Jarvis. Highway robbery. Call it cock. So Colin, I mean, good point, right? Like our true historical rival is the Kings, but the thing is that we haven't had that kind of rivalry with them as much. Whereas when the Knights came into the NHL, we were actually still kind of good, and we played them the first 2 years in the playoffs that the Knights existed, and so it's like it's the Knights, right? But a great save there by Carter Hart. We'll get Stanky and Tomas Hertl in the circle. Hertl wins this. Oh, jeez. Sisson's almost had a breakaway. He'll feather this for Hertl. Trying to work this down the middle. Some more. Hertl scores! 5-4. I don't see how. I mean, that was as dominant of a shift as he's played in Vegas. I think that's probably going to do it for tonight. I just don't see Gossesbear is not the guy who can beat up Hertl. Hertl's too strong for him. He just got absolutely worked that whole shift. That was a very Ninja Hertl play. You betcha. Yeah. Oh, that was well earned. I hate the Bruins as a Sabres fan the most. Interesting. Leafs and Canadiens. Yeah, I wouldn't think the Bruins would be right up there at the very top. But for some people who've been watching the team for a long, long time, like decades, historically the Bruins and the Sabres played a lot in the postseason. MLB, I mean, I hate them more than any team in sports. It's the Dodgers. Like there are very few things in life that I despise more than the Dodgers. So we'll see. The Hurricanes have answered back a couple times, but there's now under 3 minutes left here in this period, and this game might have gotten away from Carolina. We'll see what happens. Why the Dodgers? Because they do not draft and develop any of their players that they've been winning with. They've just been spending money the last couple of championships, and to me, that does not constitute uh, winning in a competitive league. Like, name one player they drafted and developed in their last two World Series. Like, what I don't follow baseball too closely, though. Max Muncy, would he be the guy? I mean, he's a great player, but no, it's just like trades and buying guys, right? Like, that to me does not that's not fair. Will Smith was drafted and developed. And Will Smith, wait, is this Will Smith the same guy who was on the Giants for a hot second there? Yeah, but like it's not just the Dodgers. It's MLB in general. Like, I think it's ridiculous the way things have been run, and it's not just this era either, right? Like, we can look back at what, like, the last like 40 years of baseball or 35 years of baseball. But yeah, I can't stand it. Okay, so the Hurricanes have the net emptied. Kamash Hurdle with the go-ahead goal in this game will stand as the winner. Minute 10 left. Knights get the clear. They send it down toward the empty net. It's wide. It'll be an icing unless somebody can beat it out. Oh yeah, Will Smith was wow. Shoot, he's had an amazing career. I'm sorry, I was thinking of Will Smith, the pitcher, not the catcher, who's been with the Dodgers the whole time. Oh, that's right. Muncy was originally an Athletic. So minute 6 left. Canes are taking their timeout. Not the Yankees. No, I mean, for me, I mean, my team's in the same division as the Dodgers, so it's easily the Dodgers. The Yankees have been a lot less relevant in the last 15 years. All right, well, anyway, we'll see how this finishes here. 66 seconds. All right, Jordan Stahl taking this draw in the offensive zone. Look out for the Golden Knights. Come on, guys, out the puck. Why is this linesman just standing there? Stahl wins it. Goes back to Jarvis. So 6-on-5. Jarvis shots initially is immediately blocked. He'll have to chase this down. Scooped up by Gostisbehere, but he's going to bring this around his net because we're down to 50 seconds in regulation. Ehlers. He gets stood up by Riley Smith. Smith, great job to chew up some time. Hurricanes still have to enter the zone. They're having a hard time at center ice. They dump it in. Hart touches it. Stone, met by the body of Stahl. 30 seconds. At the point, Ehlers floats it over to Gostisbehere. The shot. Hart the save. Jarvis was there, but a good job by Hart to see around the traffic. I'm not sure if we're going to be doing any more streams. Just FYI, for the rest of the final, but we'll see. Kind of depends on the result of things. We are scheduled to do a stream for the first round of the draft. And of course, I want to thank everybody who's been here tonight. Just make sure that before you go, please do leave a thumbs up if you could. I'd appreciate that. And yeah, like I said, maybe we'll have another one. Yes, I'm not entirely sure though. Russ, nothing is perfect. Well, that's a great. Stahl wins this draw. Stankoven, he loses a handle on it. That's killer. Out of 15 seconds. Ehlers, center ice, moves it up for Blake. He floats it out to somebody in the slot. Nobody's there, though. And the Knights are going to dump this down. It'll be icing with 5.6 seconds left. I don't know if they're going to be adding any time on this, though. Let's see. Back's gone. Although I will say, I mean, these Golden Knights are better than they were in 2018. Let's be honest. But they did win Game 1 against the Capitals in 2018. Shot from the point. I don't know if Hart got a save. That was a good chance there for the Canes. The time winds down in Game 1. The Golden Knights move on as they take the 1-0 series lead. And we'll be back at this on, what is that, Thursday? Final here from Raleigh. A very courageous effort by the Knights as they overcome the initial 2-0 lead. Goals for the Knights coming off the sticks of Theodore, Barbashev, Carlson, Howden, and then the winning goal scored by Tomas Hertl at 16:36. 2 goals from Nikolai Ehlers to get things started for the Canes, but ultimately it's the house winning, right? Anyway, fellas, thanks again for tuning in here. We'll see you again soon enough. I won't be a complete stranger, but I appreciate you being here, and maybe we'll have a different result for the next game. Good night.